Yo, I think I'm live. Hopefully this works. I gotta pull it up over here on the other screen. I'll mute it. I'm confused. I hate comments like that. It's so funny. All right, let's see. This one. Am I live? Not quite. Takes StreamYard a while. I say this every time, but it's like minutes it takes to kick YouTube on. There we go. We're live. What's going on? Hello. Let's see. Let me share it to the masses, or to my Discord, I guess. Boom. All right, welcome. What's up? How's it going? What's up, Comet? How are you? What's going on? Lobby attendees stay winning. True. Yeah, so I feel like a lot has happened. I have a lot of like topics and stuff for tonight. So what's up, Nikki? How's it going? Getting prep for a local show this weekend? Nice. I just had a local show last weekend, actually. That went quite well. I'll have a recap video on Monday, and then the following Monday, I should have my first vendor POV video. So that'll be cool. I'm excited for that. Should be awesome. It was good. It's very kid. It almost feels like a kid event now. There's so many kids that show up to this thing. It gets exhausting after a while to have to be talking to that many kids, because kids are exhausting, especially at events like that when they're so excited and running around and like just bouncing off the walls, and you got like 6 binders and all the kids are like crashing through all of them, and you're like, oh, be careful with that, try not to bend a card in half, and by the end of the day you're throwing a couple cards away because they're tore up, and it's pretty brutal, but it's fun. It's definitely fun. It's fun to see the future of this space, being so excited about it right now. So definitely makes me bullish on the long run and everything. What's up, FOMO? Welcome. But yeah, we have a lot though, because we had like Worlds. Pokemon just announced the next set, which is called, what's it called? I was just looking at it. Oh, I saw that the PSA magazine for the month of September is going to be all the evolutions, which is going to be cool. I don't know if any of them are going to be serialized or not, but they're just, generic looking images of the evolutions, not anything particularly amazing. Kind of like the Time magazine covers. It's just like, oh, it's just a Pokemon slapped on the cover of a magazine, but it's cool. It's the evolutions. It's interesting. What was I looking at that showed me? I follow him on Twitter. Here we go. Where is it? Surging Sparks. Surging Sparks is our next set. And it's going to be including the Draconis set, whatever that is, the quote unquote dragon set, Paradise Dragona, and Supercharged Breaker. So, and some stellar starter decks, I guess it looks like. So we've got like 3 different sets of Pokemon being smashed together into one set. Feels kind of like Evolving Skies, but instead of the evolutions, we're getting Pikachu, which is kind of like, and then for the dragon Pokemon, like the chase is going to be Alolan Executor, which I'm meh. at least there should be like an interesting Pikachu chase, hopefully. But yeah, it feels a little bit better than what we've been seeing the last couple sets, but I'm not as excited about it as I was hoping to be, that's for sure. That's for sure. So, obviously, we're still getting an EV set before the end of the year. I think December. I think December we're getting the EV set. And then I don't know. Next year is Rocket and the trainer set and all that stuff. So, yeah, we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. Let's see. What if we're getting a winter English special set? I think the EV one is the special set. If I'm not wrong. I think that one is the specialty set for the winter. Fairly sure. I could be totally wrong. I'm fairly certain that is the case. What's up, Terry? How's it going? We got Terry Lake in here. How are you? Comet. So Fat Belly collects. So yeah, we've got a lot of interesting stuff. Don't hold back. The set looks bad. I mean, to be honest, it looks better than Stellar Crown, and it looks better than whatever set we just had. I don't even know what it is. What was that set called? I don't even remember what that set was called. I think it looks better than those two sets. I can't think of what that set's called. The one with like Ogie Dogie and the one that just came out. I just can't think of the set name, but it looks better than that set, and it looks better than Stellar Crown, I think, because it's got better chase. It's got like Latios and Latios. It's got Pikachu. I feel like there's some more chase than Stellar Crown and this other set, but I don't know. I'm more hoping that they knock it out of the park with the trainer and rocket sets, but to be honest, I'm not holding my breath. We'll see. We'll see. Their choices of late have been interesting, to say the least. How's it going, A-Town? Welcome. How are you? How's it going, Old Card Shop? I can smell the hype. Yeah. That was kind of funny. Dan today was going full like Joker mode. I wasn't like fully in. I was kind of in and out of that conversation, but it was kind of funny that like I think he was saying that he thought that PSA 9s should sell for less than raw cards or like near mint copies of the card, which I don't know. I mean, some do, some don't, I think, but it just depends. Better by the smallest margin. Yeah, I mean, it's not like significantly better. Like, I don't think it's gonna be like, oh, this has saved the Scarlet and Violet block. I just think it's like, yeah, it looks better. it looks okay. It looks okay. Yeah, hopefully we get an SIR Pika since it seems to revolve around Pika, but maybe they'll just give us an SIR Pika, but they'll make it a promo in like a ultra premium collection or something like that. And they'll just remove it from the set completely and they'll give it a promo in like a collection box. Some nonsense. Must be bored too. Blastoise Machamp. That would be interesting. Interesting combination. But yeah, so let's see. I'm just gonna do a quick rundown of some things in my thoughts, all right? Because some things that I've been seeing on Instagram and all that jazz. And then let's see. So do we want to talk about world stuff? Okay, so I'll just say this because this is still going around. So disqualified world's competitor obviously should have probably been disqualified. I don't know if I would have disqualified him personally, but kind of just a stupid thing to do. It's like, when I was growing up, winning was we didn't have like, I don't know, touchdown dances were like frowned upon when I was growing up. And mocking the other team was frowned upon when I was growing up. It was more of like winning with learning how to win, winning with class and grace, or losing with class and grace. And nowadays it's all about showing off and whatever. So back in my day, that wouldn't have flown either. He probably would have gotten disqualified for just, being, I don't know, It's just it's a different time nowadays. So I don't even know how to think about it because that type of stuff just didn't exist when I was like when I was playing football. It was you score a touchdown, you hand the ball back to the referee, and you go on to the next play. Like that was the way you celebrated. Was basically like winning with grace or celebrating in a way that didn't diminish your opponent. And now it's just like everyone wants to, show off and do all that type of stuff. So I don't know. I don't necessarily. I wouldn't have disqualified him. I probably would have warned him and been like, "Hey, uh, don't do that again." Because to be honest, we don't even know if that's what the gesture that he was trying to make, or if I don't know if he like won on a lucky dice roll or something like that, and that's why he made the gesture instead of, um, instead of like that as a gesture, but it just happened to look like that gesture. So I really don't know, to be fair, because I didn't watch the whole thing. I don't know how he won. I don't know if it was or if it was just like if it was actually that. But I think that it is. I don't know if I would have disqualified him, but you know, Pokemon seems to be fairly sensitive about sportsmanship and all that stuff, and other people have been disqualified for less. So for me, I just wouldn't even I wouldn't even I wouldn't have even done anything. I wouldn't have tested the boundaries. I wouldn't have tested my luck. I wouldn't have tested the boundaries. I would have just won and went on to the especially when you're that far ahead. Like it sounded like he could have possibly won the whole thing if he went through to the next round. Like he was already like way into the actual like end of the tournament. um so if you're already that far ahead, why would you do something so stupid to jeopardize potentially like winning the whole thing and like winning the prize cards and the money? Or I don't even know if there is prize money, to be fair. But like, why would you do that? I personally think if it were me, if I was the judge, I would have warned him not to do it again. Um, I don't know if there's a way to like you can't like fine these guys, but if there is a way to say like uh I, I don't even know if there's a different punishment than just like fully kicking him out, but it definitely would have warned him, said if you do that again, you're out, and let him continue to compete because I don't think it was that bad, but oh well. Oh well, Pokemon's gonna do what they're gonna do, and ultimately, like you have to think about your audience, man. Your audience is a bunch of kids. It's a bunch of children, and Pokemon's gonna be a little more harsh on that type of stuff because their audience is a bunch of children. So they have to be they have to be a bit more strict. Would I have done it? Would I have penalized him that way? Probably not. I would have warned him, and then if he did it again, I would have kicked him. But it's how it is, I guess. Um, it's how it is. Uh, yeah. Let's see. um, Warning was warranted. Yeah, I would have warned him for sure. Let's see. I mean, there's the problem is how else would you, because even I don't want to say even in professional sports because technically it's like it is it's a game, it I don't know, but like to me it's like it warrants a or deserves some sort of, because even in I remember when, I don't know if you guys remember this or you were watching football at the time, but I'm a Vikings fan. So when Randy Moss was in the league, there was a point where we were playing the Packers. Randy Moss, um, Randy Moss caught a touchdown pass and turned around and fake mooned the crowd. Fake mooned a crowd. He didn't even moon him. He fake grabbed pants and pulled them down to his knees. And I'm pretty sure he was fined at least. I don't think he was like I don't think he was suspended or anything, but he was fined probably quite a lot of money since it's the NFL for doing that gesture to the crowd. So I think personally, you just won something. You're um, you know, you're making a gesture or you are celebrating in front of what do they call it? What do they call it in the NFL when you like taunting? You're kind of taunting, right? You're like, but it's hard not to, quote unquote taunt because you're literally sitting in front of the person who you just played against. Um, but yeah, that's why I'm saying, like, if it were me, I would have warned the kid. I would have been like, hey, make whatever gestures you want after. Just don't make that one because that one's pretty messed up. And people could perceive it as something else and then move on. And if he did it again, then I would take action. But personally, for me, I didn't find it to be all that bad. But Pokemon's gonna be Pokemon, so I just personally I wouldn't test my luck, especially since in previous events, like I think it was last year or 2 years ago, there was a fairly kind of like a inclusivity sensitivity type of event that happened where a guy got booted for something that some people feel is fairly minor as well. So it's like you already have like a historical precedence um for booting people for doing seemingly not huge things. So as a participant or a player, I don't think I would test my luck. It just seems stupid to test your luck. Yeah, and like I said, when I was growing up, you scored a touchdown, you didn't do some crazy dance, you didn't record all your touchdown dances and put them on TikTok or whatever. You just handed the ball back to the ref and you ran back to the huddle. That's all you did. There was no like needing to gloat. There wasn't even need to really celebrate. You got back to the huddle and you celebrated with your people, with your team. And he could have easily won that, gone back to his team. He looked like he had a jersey. He was probably there with either sponsors or a team or something, and he could have celebrated there. Instead, chose to do what he did. So it's just different. It's a different time. But TO also had some wild celebrations. Yeah, I mean, it's not specific to this. Was there that seemed like a really small awkward gesture? He didn't release. Well, okay. I mean, that's fine. We just view it differently. And that's why I'm saying I wouldn't have kicked him, old card chop. I'm saying Pokemon's going to do what they're going to do. I don't have any control over what they're going to do, but I'm saying I wouldn't have kicked him. I would have said, "Hey, that gesture's a little maybe don't do that again," and move on. Um, what's up, Spats? How's it going, dude? Welcome. What up, Hoodoo? How's it going? Act like it isn't your first time. Yeah, I think so. All right. Now, if it was a Magic tournament, I think it would have been totally fine. Oh man. All right. Let's see. Next thing. Okay. All right. Let's fight over this one, okay? Let's fight over this one. All right. Um so I saw a story today on Instagram. Just like every year, I'm sure every time there's exclusive merch or exclusive product of any kind that some people can get that some people can't, people get pissy about it when people try to sell it for extra money, right? So obviously a bunch of people were frustrated about the whole Worlds merch thing, right? So um, people go to Worlds, they buy a bunch of merch at the Pokemon Center, and then they sell it online for more money. Some people do it to help pay for the trip out to Worlds. Some people do it to make money. Some people just buy everything that they are allowed to. And as far as I'm concerned, and you guys might have more information than me, but as far as I could tell from people who were able to buy stuff, I'm pretty sure you had like a scheduled time slot that you went to the Pokemon Center. And then I'm fairly certain that Pokemon also had limits on how much of a particular thing you could buy. I don't know if it was fairly easy to get around those limits, but I thought, as far as I could tell from like what people were saying, it was a fairly like you had a scheduled time slot to go, and then there were limits on how many of a certain item you could buy. Now it seemed like you could buy a lot of stuff, which is fine. I mean, I don't care. Uh, like I'm, to be fair, I'm not going to buy a $200 button-up Hawaiian shirt. Like I'm looking at these shirts to wear them. I'm not looking at them as collectibles. So if someone's going to buy a Hawaiian shirt at Pokemon Center for, I don't know what they were going for retail, but if they want to sell it for 200 some dollars to some collector, like I don't really care. I'm not going to buy it because I'm not going to wear a $200 shirt, let alone buy a $200 shirt. I think they're cool, and if I could get one for $50, I might buy one. But I wasn't there, so and honestly, I don't know how much they were anyway. Um, but what I will say too is if Pokemon sold out before all the scheduled visits were completed, then I wouldn't put that on the people who bought stuff. I would put that on Pokemon, right? So like if Pokemon couldn't service all the customers that they had scheduled to visit the Pokemon Center during those allotted times, then that's not a person issue, especially since the people were had limits to being able to buy certain amounts of certain things. Like one person couldn't go into the store and just buy everything out, right? So it's like you had your scheduled visit, you could only buy a certain amount. If Pokemon sold out before all the scheduled visits were done, then that's a Pokemon issue. Like that's not a person issue or a buyer issue. That's a Pokemon issue. So far, I don't see anything wrong with people buying more than one thing to sell when they get back, or to even to sell when they're there. What I do think is kind of dumb, okay? What I do think is kind of dumb is when people are like, "Oh, well, I had to buy all of this extra stuff because the trip is so expensive. I needed to make money back to afford to go." To me, that's just like, just don't even say that. Just say that you wanted to make a little bit more money, or you wanted to make some money back. Don't say that you had to do it to afford your trip, because it's like, first of all, you know how expensive the trip is going to be before you even go. Like you're accepting the fact that this trip is going to be expensive. You're flying out to Hawaii, you're doing all that stuff. This like trying to justify, you don't have to justify it. There doesn't need to be an excuse or justification. There were limits, you bought up to your limits, you did everything right, and you're choosing to sell the extras. There's nothing that you're doing wrong. So you don't have to justify it by being like, "Oh, well, the trip is so expensive that I have to buy all this merch to resell it so that I can afford the actual trip." Just don't do that. Just just say like, "Yeah, I wanted to make a little bit of money," or "Yeah, I recouped some costs from my trip." Like I saw some people that were like, "I spent X amount of dollars to even go out there, and the only way that I was going to be able to afford it was selling all this extra merch." And it was just like, come on. Like, you know how expensive it's going to be before you go. You sign it up. You put everything on your cards or whatever. You don't need to like you don't need to frame it like you're some like victim of expense, like, "Oh, well, I had to go to um to Worlds. Therefore, the only way I could afford it was to get into the Pokemon Center, buy as much shit as possible, and then sell it for like a crazy premium. That was the only way I was going to be able to afford the trip." It's like, well, then you probably shouldn't be going on the trip. To be fair, like if you can't afford it, like you probably you just don't have to frame it like that. You don't have to be the victim of like circumstance. You can just say like, "Well, yeah, I bought up to my limits and I'm selling some of my extras, and that's market price, and I don't care." Moving on. There doesn't need to be like this excuse or justification. It I don't know. It makes the argument worse than if you just say, "I don't care." Just own it and move on. Just say, "Yeah, I don't care. I want to make some money off of this. I'm good." And move on from there. Oh no, I got a DM. What happened? Oh God, here we go. Oh. Oh, that's the Pokemon Center for there's a bit of a walkthrough someone did? That's cool. Alright, let's see. What else do I have? That was a thing where I'm just like, just say that you wanted to make some money. Like, so frustrating. Alright. I saw another thing. What else did I see? I saw another thing. I think it was who made the it came up in a couple of lives. Obviously, Ernesto sold the black label Charizard recently, and for like $3,000 or something like that, and that is super awesome, fantastic. But a lot of people were saying, um, there's this weird thing where like I think that you can say that like that's kind of crazy. That's maybe not the best buy from this person. But you don't have to say like, "Oh, that buyer's an idiot. Why would he ever buy that stupid card? It's only a $40 PSA 10 and he spent 10 times as much or 100 times as much money on it." Like, you don't have to like it's basically like pocket watching. Like, who cares? If that other guy has 3 grand to drop on a black label Charizard, and that's the only one that exists in the world, and it goes for $3,000, who the cares, bro? Like, nobody gives a shit. Nobody should give a shit. It's just stupid. It's like, why do people insist on doing this like pocket watching BS? Um, I do think you should be able to say like, that's kind of wild, or that's kind of a crazy price for, something like that. Or I don't understand the black label premiums or stuff like that. Like, that stuff is fine. I don't think people should get bent out of shape with people having their own opinions on black labels. But at the same time, like the whole like attacking intelligence or shitting on people for buying black labels or quote unquote spending too much or whatever, pocket watching is just so stupid. It's it's like, who cares? Doesn't matter. Like, if you want that card, go buy a PSA 10 for $40. Like, a black label is going to go for more. That's just how it goes, whether you like it or not. Black labels are black labels, and they sell for a premium. This is how it is. That's just dumb. Stop. Like, pay attention to your own pockets. The reason why you're mad at someone else spending $3,000 on that is because your pockets are probably empty. So pay attention to filling your own pockets, and then maybe someday you'll be able to buy a $3,000 black label Charizard. It's just stupid. Stop making money off my hobby. Exactly. We're all POS for making money with Pokemon cards. Yeah, nope, it's true. Let's see. I got another thing. We've got all this stuff. I'm gonna lay out all these topics, and then if anyone wants to hop on and chat about any of them, feel free to do that. I think there's a bit of hypocrisy going around right now, and I'm interested what you guys have to say about that. So, for the last couple years, especially with the Moonbryon example and all the conversation surrounding it, the sentiment was demand doesn't or population doesn't matter as long as demand's high enough, right? Like, as long as demand's high enough, doesn't matter if there's 4, 5, 10,000 PSA 10 Moonbryons. As long as the demand is high enough, the card is going to stay above $1,000, right? Because if there's just that many people who want to buy it, it's probably, the price is probably going to stay pretty high, no matter how many PSA 10s are in the pop. So for a long time, it was population reports are stupid. They don't matter. Nothing, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Who cares? Demand is demand. And that's all that matters, right? So especially with like the modern crowd, because everyone wants to hype up the Moonbryon, right? So I find it a little bit interesting that we're having these wild sales. Now, this isn't me pocket watching. This is me market watching and saying this is probably, I can't logically make sense of these sales at all, like from any perspective. Demand, I can't imagine is that high. The populations are not that low. The Pokemon are not popular. Like, it makes no sense to me. But the fact that we have illustration rares, $4 illustration rares in PSA 10 selling for multiple hundreds of dollars of Pokemon like Ice Cube, that's the worst buy in the hobby right now. Period. That's the worst buy in the hobby right now. 100% makes no sense whatsoever. If you're selling those, I hope you sell out of all of them soon, because that makes no sense. Makes no sense. There's nothing about those cards. The demand's not there. I guess it's there enough to go for $200. The populations are low, I guess. Like, they're fairly low in terms of PSA 10 rates, but they're not particularly low. Like, the overall numbers are not particularly low. Raw, they're literally like $3, $4, and people are just like, I don't know who is starting this, like, but now everybody cares about the population reports. Well, these illustration rares from Paldea Evolve, they're really hard to grade, okay? And because they're so hard to grade, then they should obviously be $200 in a PSA 10 for an Ice Cube. Like, what? That doesn't make any sense. Okay, it makes no sense. I literally just, like, I don't get it. I don't get it. I've been trying to think about it all day today, trying to rationalize it, like trying to logically, like, break it down in my brain, like, what could make this card cost $200? PSA 10, okay? PSA, easier to grade than most companies to get a 10, okay? That's fine. Ice Cube, not a popular Pokemon at all, okay? From Scarlet and Violet, a block that is horribly overrated by a lot of people. Definitely not a great block at this point. I guess, 20, 30% PSA 10 rates are fairly low, but the overall, like, numbers are still fairly high compared to a lot of other cards. Like, I have a mid-era Gengar Hollow PSA 10, 43 in the pop, struggling to sell for $300, and a fucking Ice Cube in PSA 10 just sold for nearly that much. That doesn't make any sense. It makes zero sense. I hope that the people that are buying those cards hear me now. It doesn't make any sense, and it's not going to stay this way. It doesn't. There's nothing. It doesn't. It doesn't make any sense. I don't know. I can't that's the worst buy in the hobby right now. If it's the worst buy in the hobby right now, period. If you're buying those, like, I'm sorry. All of those sets are due to be reprinted. If they reprint those sets in better quality than the first round, you're completely screwed. Those PSA 10s are tanking to the floor, because so many people, actually, to be honest, I would be so surprised if on TCG Player right now, there aren't people buying out illustration rares for $3, $4 a piece, just trying to nail PSA 10s. That's going to cause the PSA 10 numbers to inflate. The Pokemon on the card are not popular at all, so it's going to take not more than 10 sales for prices to drop to the floor. Like, it makes no sense. Okay. Nope. Makes no sense. I hope that the people buying those understand that makes no sense, because it literally just doesn't. It doesn't make any sense. Like, there has to be a, I don't know. Are like the bigger PokeTubers saying, like, talking about how horribly difficult, like, grading illustration rares in English are? Like, I know, like, yeah, I don't know. I could go on and on and on saying the same thing over and over and over again, but we'll move on to the next one. Okay. Last one. Are you ready? You ready for the real spice? We haven't even gotten to the real spice yet. Okay. That's not even the real spice. Now we're getting into the real spice. Everyone should already know what this spice is because I've talked about it over and over again. Okay. I hope to be wrong. I hope in my DMs there are so many people reaching out to me telling me how stupid I am. I hope. Man, I hope. My wallet hopes. Okay. My wallet hopes. That's for sure. But I have very little. I'm not going to say no confidence. I'm just going to say I have little confidence in Pokemon for the rest of this block. I have little confidence in Pokemon for the rest of this block. I don't know what's going on. I saw the announcements in Worlds, the rocket set. Thank God Mewtwo flew through the rocket symbol because I don't know what they were going to do, okay? But thank God Mewtwo flew through the rocket symbol because that gives me a little bit more hope for that set. But the trainer set, like, what did they actually show? I like the ends Reshiram. That's a very cool looking card. I like the idea of like putting the trainer on the SIR with the actual Pokemon and then having the little badge down. That's all really cool and whatever. I just don't think I just don't know if I don't know. See, we don't know though, Checks. We don't know how good the sets are. That's like that was like, you know, a month ago when we heard that the Dragon set was coming out. We were like, "Oh man, a Dragon set. It's saved." And then we get Alolan Executor and it's like, "Ah, shit." You know? It's like we don't know. We don't know. Josh and I were talking about in the Pokeflips episode. We don't know if the rocket set, if the SIR in the rocket set is going to be Giovanni's Alolan Persian EX. We don't know. But honestly, there's probably a higher chance of them putting a Giovanni's Alolan Persian EX in that set than there is for us to get like a... I don't even know. I'm trying to think of a cool Pokemon that would be Dark type. I don't know. It doesn't even have to be like a Gen 1 Pokemon. It doesn't even have to be a Gen 1 Pokemon. I'm just a popular Pokemon. That's all I want. There are so many popular Pokemon from all the eras. We do not need Gen 1. We don't need it all to be Gen 1 Pokemon. I'm just saying, like, I'm glad. All I'm saying is I'm glad I saw Mewtwo fly through the logo because that gives me a little bit, you know, a little bit more hope. I just think they spent the first half trying to build up lesser Pokemon. See, but this is the problem. This is the problem. We are well into the second half. We're well into the second half. Like we are, we're going on to we were just shown the 12th set of the era. 12 sets. I'm pretty sure that's the 12th set that we've already been shown. That isn't half of the block at set 12. We're well into the second half. Unless we're getting significantly more sets than we got in Sword and Shield. So yeah. So this block has, yeah, potentially what if next year is the last year for Scarlet and Violet sets, we get what, 6 sets a year? Yeah, unless this block is going to be significantly bigger. Like if it's going to be like a whole nother year or something, which I hope isn't the case because then we just get the hats for another year. An EV set is, I forgot there is an EV set coming up. So that's cool. We are getting an EV set coming up. I think that's in December or something like that, or winter time. But yeah, I don't know. Pikachu with a hat equals moon. Yeah, I don't know. Can you name 3 characters or trainers from Gen 8? Gen 8. I just have to make sure which generation we're talking about. Okay, Sword and Shield. Okay, Sword and Shield. Uh Sword and Shield. It trainers characters, not Pokemon, right? Trainers. Who was the Leon? Because he had a Charizard, so he was obviously a boss. You had Rose, who was the bad guy in the video game. And then all the other guys kind of sucked, but Rayhan guy, the dragon guy. And then he had Bay or B or Bay or Bia or whatever, who was the fighting trainer. I remember the trainers because I actually played that game. I actually played that game. I didn't play Scarlet and Violet because that game was trash. But I played that game. Yo, what's up, classics? Just wanted to pop in quick and send my well wishes to everyone and say congrats for hitting 5K subs. I totally forgot to even mention it. I hit 5,000 subs. Woo, 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 woo. Thank you for the reminder, classics. Yeah, thanks for stopping by. I hope you're well. Yeah, we hit 5K subs. Let's go. Oh, I'm crying just thinking about having to play Scarlet and Violet again. Whew. No, Scarlet and Violet's actual trash. Like that game's bad. That game's boring. It is a not fun game to play. In my opinion. Just my opinion. Just one old man's opinion. 5K party, let's go. Happy 5K. Hell yeah. Let's go. We actually blew past. We're like 5,027 subs or something like that now. So we're well past it. We're well past it. But yeah, so is that everything? I'm pretty sure that's everything. Was that everything? Did we cover everything? I had a note doc with everything on it. I didn't really think that I was gonna talk about every single one of these things today, but we did. So, did you like the Let's Go games? I actually think that the Let's Go games, yeah, I did. I liked them. I I thought the graphics were really good in the Let's Go games. To be fair, they're way better than Scarlet Violet graphics. That's for sure. But yeah, I thought I don't think it's like peak graphics or anything, but I thought the graphics in Let's Go were great. In comparison to like the newest games. The newest games graphically, they're horrible. They actually suck. But yeah, I thought Let's Go was fun. Rare take for sure. Yeah, I think some people just didn't like the throwing mechanic of it or whatever, but I thought it was fun. I thought it was interesting. I thought it was interesting enough. Surprised they haven't made a new one yet, but I guess they're doing other things. But yeah, we'll see with the new game. Hopefully the new man. I'm just waiting for a different company to make a Pokemon clone that's like really good. And then I can just play that. Instead of the modern Pokemon games. Because I just think Pokemon is taking the games in a direction that is just further and further away from what I like about the Pokemon games. So, and that's fine because other people like it. You might be thinking about Temtem Spats, which I think is actually a good game. Like Temtem is actually fun. It looks like just like a ripoff or whatever, but it's actually pretty fun. I think it's pretty solid. Power World was not really a Pokemon game. It was basically like Minecraft with minions. And Power World was fun too. But definitely a different take on a creature capture style of game. But yeah, Temtem is definitely fun. But But I think people are kind of pissed at Temtem because they decided to make like a MOBA, or not a MOBA, Vampire Survivor type of game. I don't remember. Got to try Mystery Dungeon. I don't know if I would like Mystery Dungeon, but maybe I'll give it a shot someday. But yeah, so if people want to hop in, that should be the correct link, and it shouldn't ask you to verify everything like it normally does, so it should be easy enough for people to hop in if they want to hop in. One thing I will say though, obviously there are some rules to hopping in. You must have your camera on. You must use your chat name in StreamYard so I know who you are in chat, and just be normal. Be a normal human being. You know, I think other friends in the hobby have had issues in these types of call-ins. If I don't recognize you, I might not even bring you up. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Hop in and we'll see. If you want to talk about any of those topics that I just laid out, we can go back and forth on it. How do you feel about Acolyte being canceled? I mean, it kind of sucks because like I didn't hate it, but I also didn't really think that it needed to go any farther. Like it could have just been like a one and done. But yeah, I don't know. All right, Fat Belly collects. What's up, man?
How's it going?
Pretty good. How are you?
I'm doing well.
Awesome. What would you like to talk about?
I guess I don't know. I kind of just wanted to jump in here and say hello. I haven't talked to you yet or ever, so I wanted to just say hello. And I guess I got a couple of specific things we could maybe talk about if
Sure.
you wanted to. I guess I'm gonna bring something out here real quick. Just kind of want to have your opinion on what you would consider a card like this. Give me 1 second. Sorry.
No, you're good.
Okay. I'm just curious. Obviously, my camera is not very good, so bear with me. I'm just using my laptop camera here. And if you can see, let me see if I can.
Crystal.
So there's kind of, sorry,
yeah.
it's not very good, but you can see it looks like somebody kind of bit, like somebody put their tooth in it.
Yeah, it looks like it has some dents and bends there.
But it's not like creased or anything at all. And there's really not many scratches on the hollow. It's pretty much just like a little like ding right there. What is what would you consider that? Is that just automatically damaged?
Oh, you mean like if you were to list it on like a TCG
If I was to sell this card, is that just automatic damage, even if it's just like a little tiny, kind of thing like that in the corner where it's not really like, I've seen some damaged cards on TCG Player and those bad boys are damaged, whereas this is pretty nicely damaged.
I mean, it's definitely a solid like binder contender, for someone who's binder collecting, because it seems like the worst of it's on the back, so that's at least nice. But yeah, I would say a couple of people in chat have said like maybe PSA 5-ish, moderate play. For me personally, I would probably class, if I was buying it, I would probably say that it's damaged, but maybe moderate play. I don't sell a lot of raw cards though, so I don't usually like deal with the conditioning because I send everything for grading. So yeah, but yeah, it's cool.
Yeah,
Crystal.
I just picked it up at my card store. They've had it for months there. And I kind of looked on TCG Player and I saw they had a damaged one and it was pretty bad. And I was like, you know what? That one at the card shop, they're selling it for a damaged price and it's really not that bad. So I was just kind of curious on like if it has some kind of dings like that, is it just automatically damaged, or if some people would consider that like more of like a moderately played? Because I've seen where it's creased, the back's like it's been just through a washing machine, and it's like, yeah, that's damaged. Whereas like something that you can actually look at, I don't know. I
Yeah,
just
I mean, it's so wide the range of, especially when you're selling raw. It's like near mint. Like I'm used to grading everything. So when I think of near mint, it's like something I would send for grading. But then if you actually think for near mint, it's like it could be a 6 or whatever is the lowest. I think a 6 is still considered near mint or something at PSA, maybe 7. And I've seen some PSA 7s, and it's like, damn, that's a near mint. Like that's kind of wild. So yeah, I guess Hoodoo's saying that TCG Player has some guidelines that you can look at to figure out what they would list it at. But yeah, I don't do a whole lot with raw, but yeah, it's cool though, for sure.
so I'm curious on. You said Randy Moss is your favorite player?
I just grew up watching the Vikings,
Oh,
so he was a big part of that.
okay, yeah. I'm a Vikings fan as well, and
Oh, nice.
grew up watching Randy Moss. So just curious if you had any Randy Moss autos.
No autos. I have a lot of Randy Mouse cards because we collected sports. We started in Pokemon, went to sports when we started playing sports in like middle schoolish, and then so I have a lot of like Chris Carter, Randy Moss, Dante Culpepper, Randall Cunningham, like all of those players from back in the day. Um, but not a lot of autos or some rookie cards, but no big cards. Nothing crazy.
Yeah, I don't have any Randy Moss autos either. He's a little pricey, so I didn't really want to spend any big money really on him. It's
Yeah.
his autos are only like a few $100, but it's still expensive. So
Yeah, I don't know much about sports. I know that like modern rookies can be like super expensive, but then like rookies from like the 90s because there were so many cards printed, like they're not really as expensive as some of these like serialized cards because there was just so many more of them or I don't know. And then you go back far enough and some of the really older rookies are really expensive. So I know nothing about
yeah,
sports, but
I actually met Adrian Peterson and got his autograph on one of my old jerseys. So,
oh, that's sick. That's awesome.
but yeah, I guess I don't really have too much. I don't know. I didn't really have much of a topic, I guess.
Well, what do you think? What do you personally think about black labels? Do you think that they deserve the premium that they get?
No, honestly, um, I remember PK actually just went live last night talking about what he was talking about the black label, um, uh, trainer or the third. I can't. Sorry, words can't come out of my
No, you're
mouth.
good.
But the trainer card, the third place, and honestly, I don't think it should have a premium. I think the premium's in the card itself, not necessarily the grade, but I don't know. I mean, I logged into Instagram and there's a card that's sold for 19x PSA 10 price, and it's just like
It's pretty wild.
I don't know. People buy it. I don't really understand why, but people
Yeah.
do.
What do you think about? I saw, I think it was the Fine card. I don't know if you follow them on Instagram, but it's a lot of like high end cards that sell on auction and stuff. They showed I think it was a first edition Charizard that recently sold for like 170 some thousand, and then the same first edition Charizard, but it was basically a company that grades the grade and then puts like a gold or silver sticker on the label, depending like if the grade seems legit to them. And it sold
Yeah.
for like significantly more because it had the gold label of the company that grades the grade. What do you think of like companies now like auditing or like assessing grades to make sure that they're quote unquote the grade they should be? Seems wild.
Well, I think they've been doing that for a while, honestly. I know there's been some high-end sports cards that have that. I think they do like a platinum diamond as well as like a black diamond. So like they do like tiers to that as well. So it's kind of like a gimmick in a way, but I don't know. people buy the black labels, so people will buy the black diamonds and the gold diamonds. It's just like I don't understand it, but
Yeah.
because for somebody like me, I'm the person that likes to have more cards than one. So the way I look at it is like I could get 2 PSA 9s for the price of 1 PSA 10. Well, I'm taking those 2 PSA 9s all day and throwing those in my collection. That's the way I look at it. So it's like I'm not going to pay a premium for a little gold diamond or a black label. It's just like, nah, not for me.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. I don't know how I feel about it either, because like I'm all for, it's the whole like buy the card, not the grade thing, right? Where you should, even if it's a PSA 10, you probably want to take a look at the card to make sure that it looks really good to you, something that you want to buy. But like having another, it seems like arbitrary measures put on top of already arbitrary measures. Like some random person looked at this card and said it was a 10. And then some other random person looked at the card and confirmed it was a 10. So they're going to put a gold sticker on the label now. It's like, it just seems like, I don't know. It can't possibly be consistent enough to really matter, I feel like. But
yeah, I think Jason in the chat had it as perfect. Just said it's just a flex, and I think it really is. I mean, there's a lot of big YouTubers and stuff like that too that they like to show the big thing. So it's like, however they can kind of like, I guess flex on the internet or whatever, that's how they want to do it. So if they can somehow to find these higher end cards and flex, like I don't want to throw anybody out there, but there was somebody that I kind of met locally or whatever, and I followed him on Instagram, and like he just had the Giratina V-Star that sold in a black label, and he posted that it sold for 19x a PSA 10 price. And it's just like he's kind of flexing for the internet, and that's okay. It's just that's how he gets his followers and his viewers and stuff like that, and that's that's kind of a way for them to do it.
Yeah, no, true. Awesome. Well, I got another person on deck.
Yeah. I like I said, I didn't really have too much to talk about.
No, you're good.
I kind of wanted your opinion on that card. I was just curious. That was something that is recent on my mind. I just picked it up a few days ago, and kind of just curious. And so, yeah.
Yeah, no, it was nice meeting you and chatting. Yeah, feel free to hop in any other time, and we'll chat about whatever.
Well, maybe I'll meet you in Chicago.
Oh yeah, I'll definitely be there. Definitely come by the booth.
All right. Well, I appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, we'll see you.
See you later.
All right. Next up, we got the Green Shiz.
What up?
Finally made it on.
About time I make it on, man. Sorry.
What's going on, dude?
What's going on, man? Happy Wednesday.
Yeah, me too.
What's good? I was sad I didn't get to say hello to Fat Belly. I just watched one of his videos, one of his the buying POV one. So
cool.
Good videos. Go check it out. And I look forward to meeting him in Chicago. That'll be cool.
Yeah, hold on. Let me find his Fat Belly Collects is the Yep. Cool. Let me.
Yeah, I literally just watched it. It was the most recent one today.
Post that in chat, guys. Definitely go check him out. Very cool.
So how you been, man?
Good. I actually had a local show this past weekend, so I did my first vendor POV video that weekend, so that'll be fun.
Hell yeah!
Did a recap and a vendor POV, so both will be coming soon. But it was interesting. Luckily, the footage all came out fine, and all the audio's fine, and all that stuff. So it should be solid. But yeah. Yes, we do have the podcast host of Slabbed. Holy moly! Yeah, Slab podcast, guys. Woo! If you haven't seen it, go check it out.
Hell yeah. Fun stuff. When's your podcast starting, man? Is this the podcast?
This is kind of the podcast, I think. Just
this is your format you like?
Yeah, I liked whenever Jake did it. Jake always had
Yeah.
people on and chatted, and now that he's not making content anymore, I was like, well, I'll hop on and have these little call-ins, and anyone can hop on if they want and all that stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, I feel like Jake still makes content technically. I would say old school Pokemon doesn't make content.
No,
I
that's
feel
true.
like,
Yeah.
I feel like Jake makes more videos than Nick. So
Yeah. It's just
Yeah.
all lives now with Nick.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, he does still do his the Poke Flips, and I think he still does the Patreon and stuff. So
Yeah.
yep, that's cool. That's cool. Got some
Well,
legends in the chat.
I have a question for you,
What's
and
up?
you can tell me whether or not you can talk about it.
Oh God. All right. You guys, I'll see y'all later. Y'all have a good one. Oh, shit. What's up?
We cannot talk about it if you don't want to talk about it.
I'm ready. I'm ready. As long as it's not about taxes.
No. So you guys did a podcast recently that ended up being taken down completely, or did you put it back up? I haven't checked.
No, it's not back up. It's
You
it's
just took it
private.
down.
Yeah.
So why? You kind of mentioned it in, was it a live stream or something? You said you got a lot of kind of heat after it went up because of who was on it, and you just decided to take it down, which kind of sucks because I watched it before it was taken down and I thought it was fine. Like there wasn't anything wrong with it. Like
No.
it was just collectors, talking to each other and showing off cool cards and stuff.
Yeah.
Obviously he has the reputation he has, but it's like, so was it just the heat or what?
Yeah, it was. I not woke up because the podcast went live at noon. But basically, I had posted an Instagram story saying, "Hey, this is going live in 3 hours." And then I go to work, and I'm at work, and then I look down at my phone. I got 5 different messages from different people, basically saying, "Hey, what the f? Like, what are you doing? This isn't right," or something along those lines. It was not just 1 or 2 people. It was just, yeah, it was more so that, and just me. It's obviously a lot of respect for Sean is why he came on the podcast. I wouldn't have somebody on that had pissed me off or wronged me in any way. He had never done that, and as you could see in the podcast, it was a good discussion. We got into a lot of his different things he's got going on, his selling, his a few things in his collection. He doesn't collect a lot. He does sell a lot. But yeah, it was a good discussion, but it was more so just out of respect for the people that were offended. So it was a really awkward situation because obviously me taking it down really would not make Sean happy, right? So he was not happy at all. And I feel terrible wasting his time. Now, basically wasted my time, wasted Professor Oak's time, because it is not on the internet right now. So right now it's not up. No plans of it coming back. So
Okay.
yeah, we'll see. I don't know. It's I don't know if you saw, Rattle had made a video right after I took mine down. With he used a couple screenshots out of my podcast, which didn't feel great, but yeah. So for now it's down for sure.
Gotcha. Full disclosure, I messaged you on Instagram, but I said I was really excited to watch it.
Yeah,
But
I think there was more people that were excited to watch it, to be honest. But
well, and I said that I had heard some things, in Charlotte that I didn't know about previously, but that I was excited to watch it, and I wasn't sure how in depth you guys were going to be in it or whatever, and so
Yeah.
hopefully you didn't think that was added on to the heat, because I was more excited to watch it than anything, and that's why I did right when it dropped, because, but yeah, that kind of sucks, I think. Yeah, I mean, like you said, he hasn't wronged you in any way, and he's a part of the space, even though he's a person who has garnered some frustration from some other people. He's still a part of the space. So, and the chat was totally fine. So it's frustrating that, or I'm sure frustrating for you, that feels like you wasted a couple hours of some people's time, but
Yeah, and wasted the time, and then also already pissed everybody else off. Now, them more so just knowing that I took the time to hang out with Sean probably pissed people off more than having the video live, to be honest.
Yeah.
So, damage done. I mean, like it's strange. It's a weird world I live in. I'm not in any position to ever create drama, or I do everything to stay away from any type of combatants. I am like Mr. Switzerland. So yeah, it was strange. Not great.
Well, I'm sure you guys have an episode. Are you guys recording tonight?
No, Professor Oak's dad had passed away a few days ago. So just taking some time.
That makes sense.
For sure.
Got you. I saw you posted a picture from England, so you must be over across the pond right now for that.
Yeah. Yep.
Got you.
Okay. Yep, for sure. Yeah. So yeah, it'll be in the future. Nothing this week. So tap me in, Josh. Yeah. You were an assistant host one time, right? I think Mason was.
Yeah.
I believe. I can't remember. I lose track, but appreciate you again for helping that one time.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
So you recently made a video about selling off a lot of your Zapdos collection, or at least your higher end kind of older vintage stuff to pay off some debts.
Yep.
You sent those off, I'm assuming?
They're all in the mail. Yep. They should have arrived today to PWC. Oh, the Zapdos cards should have arrived today. Yep. At Dan's vault. So
okay.
Gotta catch more collectibles.
So how did you split that up again? What did you send to Dan, and what did you end up trying to send to Z?
Yeah, so I did all like the vintage Zapdos cards to Dan. So all like CDC Pristine 10s, PSA 10s, stuff like that. Some of the stuff a little bit more niche. I don't know. I just feel like some of that does pretty well in the black labels I sent to Dan. Some of that stuff does oddly well through PWCC. So, and then through Z&G was primarily modern and some Yu-Gi-Oh stuff. Just a few, like three-ish Yu-Gi-Oh slabs. My tag 10 Charizard's going to go through eBay. So that'll be interesting to see how that rolls. So yeah, basically modern going through eBay, which that stuff just super consistent. Prices don't usually flex too much.
So what was your thinking behind moving that stuff instead of moving your modern boxes? Because I know you mentioned them in your video. You were like, well, I don't want to sell my modern position. So I'll sell these instead, type of thing.
Yep.
What was your thinking behind moving some of your kind of lower pop niche, high graded stuff instead of just moving that modern position?
Yeah, I think majority of my Zapdos cards are down in price from the time I purchased them. A majority. So I'd say 60% of them have gone down in price. I bought them anywhere between, I don't think I started buying slabs until 2021. Somewhere in there. My first one was like a PSA 10 Legendary Collection Reverse Zapdos. And I think I spent $1,500. So that one's about the same, or similar. But a lot of them are down. So I don't think they're going to be going up in the next 2 years as exponentially as possibly my sealed is. I only have, just to give you an idea what I have, I only have 151 UPCs and I only have Lost Origin. So those are the only two things it's like 50-50 what I have. And Lost Origin, I think, might be peaked for a while. I don't know if it's going to see a big one, but I feel like the 151, when I was going to sell it, it was like 115 a box for the UPCs, and it's already, I forget, 135, 140 now a month later. So it's a lot more volatile. It could get reprinted and go down again. But I originally purchased that with plans of it being like my two kids, like college funds. I was like, all right, $5,000 here, $5,000 there. Let's see where they go. And it's probably almost $20,000 now worth of boxes. So, and it's in 2 years. And I plan to kind of sell those and flip them into new modern boxes and just keep growing. I didn't want to see that die. was kind of the main thing. I didn't want to see that come to an end and me just have slabs in a box still. I kind of wanted to see that through and me like the rocket set or the new gym set, like sell all of this when that comes out and just do it again. That's kind of what my thought was.
Yeah. So Fat Belly's wondering if you'd ever buy some back in the future.
Yeah, there's a lot of
Zapdos collection again.
Yeah, there's a lot of expensive ones, but yeah, there's some. The legendary collection reverse one's always going to have a sweet spot. I still have some cool ones. I still have like a perfect 10 of the Rocket Zapdos Japanese, not the black label, but it's the only perfect 10. So I still have some cool stuff, but primarily all modern. But yeah, I'd probably give it time. This will pay off the student loans and stuff for the wife, and that'll be cool. So
okay, sweet.
Yeah.
No, that makes sense. I mean, recently I sold my collection, I guess, to do something similar and to get myself out of a sticky situation. So I can definitely understand wanting to sell some stuff to pay out. Ultimately, nobody wants to be in debt. And cardboard is cardboard at the end of the day. So if you could sell that cardboard for thousands and thousands of dollars and remove some of that debt, it's pretty good trade.
Massive for sure. I was going to ask about yours, because kind of when you went through all that, you had said that shop is going out of business. Is it officially out of business now yet, or?
So at the end of the year, they'll be closed.
So
December 31st, I think, will be the last day.
So you're still in there until then?
Till the end of the year, yeah.
And then you'll start Whatnot or eBay Live?
I may be talking to a particular person that we know potentially about some things. But there's also potential. I've also been in talks with the building owner about potentially
Mason earmuffs Mason.
Mason close. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see how that goes. Yeah, we've kind of already talked about it.
I figured.
But yeah, there's a lot of different opportunities. So
hell yeah, man, that'll be cool.
Yeah,
good luck. I think best of luck. I know you had made that post on Instagram. I'm like, damn, nobody's hitting this dude up. Like, I probably didn't think you were even interested, but
maybe, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
After hearing Ray talk about it, though, that like 4 hours of streaming is like 8 hours of work because of all the packing and everything afterward, I'm like, that sounds bad. I don't know if I want to do that.
I mean, depends how much I get paid.
Yeah, I guess.
It's like, I just made $400 in 4 hours of streaming. I mean, I guess I'll survive. Like, yeah. Depends how much I'm making.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Cool. So obviously you're a previous owner of Black Labels. You obviously then I assume you see the value in like you're a big like conditional
rarity.
Yeah, conditional rarity person.
Yeah, I think most people with PSA 10s are.
Yeah.
They just might not see it that way, but yeah.
Yeah. You and Oak recently said on the podcast that there's only two Black Labels in the Scarlet and Violet era right now.
From 2023 English.
2023 English.
Only 2023. Yeah. So the Iono and the Merriam.
So it's only also trainers. There's no actual like Pokemon.
Yep.
That's interesting.
That was as of a month ago, but yeah.
Yeah. As a person who keeps track of lots of sales and stuff like that, do you think that? Oh man, what was my question? It totally disappeared. It was a good question though. I don't remember.
I know we just had a recent sale. I don't know if this was where you're going, but shout out to Skater Ernesto from Spicy Boys TV. Just sold his English Charizard from Scarlet and Violet from one of the newer sets. Whatever it was this year.
It was the Charizard collection box promo.
Yeah, it's like a $6 card, $5 card.
Yeah,
sold it for $3,000 paid. through Z&G, huge. I figured, like, I was live streaming, and when I saw it, and I saw that, I'm like, it's gonna get paid. Like, I figured it would. It helps Z&G having a huge, massive block list, but also 3,000 is like right in the wheelhouse because we had just seen $5,000 for a Japanese one of the illustration rare or something in PWCC. So I thought that was right in the wheelhouse. And that at the same time, in like vintage 101 black labels, like there was an Amphros on PWCC that went for 1,400. So we'll see where mine go. I'm kind of nervous. We'll see.
So I remember my question.
Sweet. I was hoping I'd help.
Do you think you see a lot in discourse, people talk about BGS and black labels and this idea that your first submission with them, you'll get some. And then from then on, you'll struggle to get any. Do you buy into that? And because my first submission, I got 4 black labels out of 12 cards. So,
wow.
And I've been thinking about trying to do it again because now I'm all high on my own supply, but I feel like they're all going to be 9.5s.
Yeah, I think it's not a thing. I think it's just like an urban myth. Because I did my submission, but I sent all vintage. It sent in like 7 cards, and they all came back like 9.5 plus pluses, every single one of them. They're all like 1 subgrade off of the BGS 10. All these vintage cards, they're all like guaranteed PSA 10s, basically. They were like Japanese gym 1 and 2 cards. So I don't know. I think if you got the eye for it, then I would send it for sure. For sure. It's worth it.
See.
What was the best sale you did out of those?
Out of the black labels?
Yeah.
Well, it was 3 Gengar character rares, and all 3 of them sold for around $300.
The one around the bonfire or whatever?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think PSA 10, they're like between 30 and $40, I think.
Yeah.
And so they were 10x essentially. And then it was just a regular Umbreon VMAX from EV Heroes or something like that. It's like $1 card that I sold for like $200 and some in the black label.
That's filthy. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
I would target Charizards because we just saw a 100x on that English one. English is tough though. I probably wouldn't waste my time with English.
Yeah, that seems.
I wouldn't even bother. That's a losing game. So stick with the Japanese, and you'll probably be doing well for sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot. Did you guys happen to look at the Japanese black labels from Scarlet Violet era?
No, for me it's pointless. There's so many. It's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The difference is probably shocking.
It's not even close. Yeah, it's like you said, you graded how many? 4 out of 12?
4 out of 12, yeah.
Yeah, that's the Japanese rates are insane. It's not comparable. I'm curious now, but it would take a second to look that up. That terrible ass website.
So what have you been up to in terms of the Pokemon space? You're obviously going to be vending in Chicago.
Right next to you. Yep.
We've got tables next to each other, which is going to be pretty awesome. Our little group over there. Really good spot too, back by the concession or the bathrooms. Bathrooms
both.
Were like right
next
both
right there. Yep,
yeah,
both right there. So
that's gonna be really nice.
Yep.
What have you been doing in terms of have you been buying and selling? Have you been grading at all? Have you been, or has it just kind of been chilling recently?
Yeah. I helping friends. I got like 3 binders that I've gone through of friends binders, just looking at cards to grade. One friend had a giant ass binder, top loaded all these cards, and I pulled out 3 cards to grade. The other friend had 2 binders, and he has like 40 cards to grade. So helping friends out. I got a stack that's going to CDC, but I've been listing things that I didn't send to James and Dan on eBay and selling through eBay. So I don't know, 3-4 sales a day for the last few weeks. And not even that much probably, but yeah, just staying busy. Work is a lot right now with what I do in sales. So we got a new boss as in the last couple months. So a lot of things changing, taking up a lot of time. So kids are busy with cheerleading and ice skating practice after work. So there's not a lot of until like nowish. There's like 9:40 p.m. I got a chance to sit down and chill, but more so just watching the auctions every Sunday still, keeping up with the markets. Haven't been trying to buy much inside of there because that's kind of counterproductive to what I'm trying to accomplish with my auctions. So yeah, just kind of laying low, looking. I just bought a Yu-Gi-Oh card off an Instagram story yesterday for $20 because it is a cool one. So just always looking though, always looking. What about you?
Mr. Kite says, gonna get Java to send my Beckett subs and Greeny to send my tag subs. True.
Yeah. What do you think a tag 10 base unlimited Charizard would sell for?
I have no idea.
Do you know what CGC sells for?
No.
So 2 weeks ago it sold for like 2,300. Last week it sold for like 2,600. This week it just sold for 3,100 through Z&G, all three. So it's kind of trending up, a CGC 10. But I'd be curious. I don't know. I don't have a freaking clue. It could be $400 or it could be $2,000. I'm hoping it's around the $2,000 mark. That would be phenomenal.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm hopeful.
I'm gonna bring Grimer up. We could chat. What's up, Grimer?
What's up? How are you guys doing?
Doing good.
There you go. We got 3 section leaders in here.
Yeah.
Boom. Where you at Chicago?
I'm like 1 row to the right of the stage.
Okay.
Yes, I'm close to like where the Pokenomics section is and close to where Mason is.
Nice. Yeah, we'll make sure to have all the dollars emptied out of their pockets by the time they get back to you guys.
Sounds good.
Yeah, we're all on the other side of we're all on the other side. Mm-hmm. But Brad says Chicago's gonna be a movie. True. I didn't realize that everybody was gonna show up like so early. Everyone's saying they're gonna get there on like Wednesday and hanging out like all week and stuff. It's like, damn, do you guys work? Like what are you guys doing?
I got talked into it. I mean, I have a lot of PTO at my job that I have to use somewhat soon because I'm planning to switch jobs in like the next 6-12 months. So I'm fine with doing it. I've never been to Chicago, and we have a lot of people from our group that are in the Chicago area. So it's pretty convenient for going and doing sightseeing and meeting up with people. It makes sense.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's nice. I love it.
Plus, nice. Like the flight for me was like $160, I think, both ways through United. And it's like, I'm going to say yes to that every time. It doesn't make a big deal at all.
Yeah, that's probably how much my gas is going to cost me for a 4-hour drive each way. About $160 probably.
Greeny, you haven't vended since what, Orlando?
I didn't even vend there. I was walking. I've spent like $4,500 on cards. It's been a minute. It's been probably a year. Charlotte last year, maybe.
Would you guys say that you enjoy vending or not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would generally say yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think I make more money going and buying things traditionally, but when I fly, when I'm driving to this one, it'll be to cut out the cost of the airplane, and some of that it's going to be phenomenal. So Orlando was extremely expensive. It was like $700 round trip.
Yeah. Yeah, it seems like the way to do it, if you can, is like most likely there's going to be at least one group of tables, and then if there's a way to like slide some slabs onto someone else's table and walk around and buy for the day, like, that seems to be like the trick, where you're not really tied down, but you can sit in the section and help people, and you like kind of always have something that you can be doing instead of just standing behind the table all day. But I like the vending part of it. I think it's fun, especially like doing local shows. Local shows are fun. But
yeah, you got any coming up?
Yeah, actually, September 7th, I'm doing another one. 7th and 8th.
Oh yeah,
nice.
So yeah, it should be good. We'll see how it goes. I haven't done this show in particular, but we'll see. Spats
Yeah.
wants me to go to Richmond. I'm not going to Richmond.
I feel like that's almost drive. That's probably an 8-hour drive for me.
It's
Something like that.
only like
6
3
hours?
hours for me, but
That ain't bad. 3 hours. You just got a new car, right? Shit.
I know, right?
Yeah, you got the Poncho Mobile or whatever. Yeah.
Could take it for a drive.
Mhm.
What kind of car did you get? I'm gonna judge you.
The Kia Forte GT.
It's all right. It's all right. It's not a Prius. We're good.
I was looking at the Prius Primes,
I can respect the gas mileage.
but
That's not bad.
yeah,
I just can't fit in those cars.
yeah, I can imagine. My car is actually spacious for being like a sporty coupe. So
Yeah.
Hell
I
yeah.
think it would work. So what have you been up to, Grimer?
I've been busy with work. We have a bunch of just random, stupid projects in right now. I'm a geochemist, so we work for like an environmental testing lab, and we just have clients from like all over the country that send all kinds of shit to us. It could be like dirt, plants, fish, bugs, anything you could think of, basically. And we just have like a particularly weird group of projects we're working on right now. So I was testing a bunch of crayfish today for heavy metals. So that was my 8 hours of work today. And yeah, it's been pretty busy with that. But I've been like trying to get my eBay back up, get that algo train pumped again. I haven't listed on there consistently in quite some time. So trying to get back to like 10 listings a day just to get that ball rolling again. And then obviously I got Chicago in like 2 months. So I have to do a decent amount of prep just to get my inventory where I want it to be. So I'll be working on that slowly.
Right? Didn't you say you were doing your first like PSA submission, or you just got one back?
No, I'm doing my first one. I'm sending it out tomorrow. Yeah, so I've been in the hobby for what, like 3 years and not done a PSA sub.
Have you graded at all?
I've done 2 CGC subs.
Okay.
I did one like pre everything shutting down with grading, so like 2021. And I think I printed on that. I graded like a waifu in like a CGC 10 back when like waifus were popping off. And I sold it for like $400, I think, which I think was like my highest sale for quite some time for me in the hobby. And then I did like one other one where I got a bunch of vending cards. I peeled off the sheets myself and sent them in. And I got a bunch of 9s and 9.5s. I got kind of wrecked. But then they changed the labels, so I was able to reholder them all the 10s. So it was decent.
I'm jealous.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Mm-hmm.
Super jealous.
Yeah. Greenie, wasn't your vending sub the one where you snapped the slab?
Yeah.
That's still one of the best clips in all of Pokemon content.
500 card PSA sub, and I got power bombed.
That was rough.
Never recover. $7,500 grading fee. Yikes.
Man.
Got clapped, bro.
What's up, Dan Azard? Welcome.
So why are you grading now?
I've just been sleeping on it for a minute, and I have a bunch of stuff that's like obvious grading plays where it's like I have a bunch of vintage cards I picked up from Charlotte and Edison when I vended that like in 8s I make money, and I think they can get 9s or 10s. So it's like I might as well just send them in and see what happens. And then I have some like vintage Magic cards that I've had for like 2-3 years that I've wanted to grade and just never actually did it. That I think could get like 8s and 9s. Maybe one of them has a 10 shot. But I mean, no one's really going to buy it either way, even if I have it raw or like in a PSA 10. So I figured I might as well just grade it and keep it in the PC.
You said you sold just raw cards at Charlotte last year, right? Or is that what you've been doing now?
I think last year when I started, I was like 50-50. And then I
Okay.
think this year at Charlotte and Edison, I was like 75-25. I think for Chicago, I'm going to go 100% raw, unless like I get some like really good grades on some of the stuff I send in now. Like if I have like base unlimited Mewtwo and like a 10 or something, which is like one of the cards I'm sending in, I'll put that in my case because it makes sense. But I'm not going to put like just random slabs in there, I don't think. I'm probably just going to focus on raw.
Oh, yeah. Good luck with the sub, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, you guys do a lot more, or Grimer at least does a lot more buying and stuff at shows and trades probably than anyone comes up to me and is like, hey, you're buying, hey, you want to trade? I'm like, no, thank you. And I know that there's a lot of opportunity there, but at the same time, it's like, I don't know. I'm just in like sell mode. Like I just want to walk away with cash. I don't want to, I'm there to walk away with cash. I'm not there to walk away with more cards. But
That's how I felt when I started out. And then when I did Edison, I don't know if I just was luck of the draw in terms of like people walking by me or the spot of where my section was at. I had so many buying opportunities that were like good. So it's like I couldn't say no to buying at like 70 to 75% margin. It just like I just can't pass it up. So it's like I try to do enough selling to like offset it in that case. So it's like I think I've learned moving forward is I want to have like more cash on hand to start the show just so I could facilitate more of those buys early on. And then obviously I want to try to make some money so I can cover my costs for travel and make the trip worth it on that front. But buying a lot kind of does a lot of the value accrual that you would want to validate your trip to begin with. So it's fine with me.
I think especially at the local shows that I go to, it seems like there aren't that many people spending like over $100. So a lot of the like alternate arts or a lot of those cards that are sitting between like the 200 and 500 range, it seems like if you've got the cash, like, and if you're willing to actually drop the money and talk to people about the cards and like really go for it, you can get pretty decent prices. Because you're probably one of the only people who's even going to ask about that card because of the price tag during the day, especially at local shows. Galacticon, probably not because there's so many people with so much money walking around. But I bought a Greninja EX that the guy had pulled himself. So he was just like, yeah, I'll give it to you for like $200. I was like, okay. And then I bought a Gengar character rare, or not character rare, alternate art. Yeah, the alt art.
Yeah.
I got for 300, which is about where it's at. But it was really clean. So I sent it off to PSA with the Greninja because I was super clean as well. And I'm hoping that they both get 10s because that'll be like bought 2 cards, make like $400, you know, in that 1 hour, basically. So that'd be solid. But yeah, I mean, I think at local shows, if you show up willing to buy like higher end stuff, you could probably do pretty well.
Yep.
But Greeny, you printed with those was it Cinderellas or Elsas?
I think.
Elsa.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah. Did you do really well on those?
Oh yeah, I was not as good as I could have if they got them back sooner, but yeah, I bought them for $1,000 and sold them for like 1,700-ish, I think, a piece.
They all got 10s?
Yeah, all 3 of them. 3 out of 3. That was nice.
And that was just finding like a sports guy that happened to be selling those things
so it wasn't just the sports guy. It was like a ROG. It was sports. They had some Pokemon, but I don't know. He just had, for whatever reason, somebody took them in trade or something. They were just sitting there priced $1,000 a piece, which was, those things had just spiked. So yeah, he just didn't catch it. They didn't reprice 4 days prior. They got caught. So yeah, sometimes you get lucky, I guess.
Yeah.
Haven't really got that lucky that much.
Would you guys agree with this? Buying a card and selling it within the next hour is the largest dopamine hit you can get at a con.
At the physical show, yes.
Yeah,
buying a card off somebody, throwing it in the case, and then selling it.
Yeah, it's huge. If I wish I did it more. I don't. Like, what did he say? Checks NFX, I think, in the next comment or something. He had said, I want to set up a booth and just say buying cards. That would be pretty interesting. Just sit there with 10K and stack and just see what rolls up and create a booth and buy at 70%.
So at Charlotte, Charlie rented out a booth or a table, I think. I don't think it was a whole section. I think it was just a table maybe. But he put a whole bunch of like Pokemon merchandise on there. And it was a silent bidding auction table, everything starting at $1. So everything on the table started at $1. And if you went up, you could bid whatever. And whoever had the highest bid at the end of the show won the thing. So it was a bunch of like Pokemon merchandise stuff. He came around to the table and I was like, hey, how's your table doing? I think on like Sunday or something. And he's like, yeah, like everything is still like $1. So he's like, you could literally go over there and bid like $5 on everything and just walk away with all that stuff at the table.
You're talking about Herlocker?
Yeah, Herlocker. Yeah.
Ooh.
It wasn't cards though, as far as I'm aware. It was like different Pokemon like merchandise things. But he was just trying it out as like a like a test, way of like selling stuff.
You know what I thought? They probably would ban me. I was literally thinking, I was like, man, if I just bought a whole section, it's like $3,000 now. But if I bought a whole section and literally just like stood on like a ladder in the middle of the section with like a semi-loud megaphone to call people over and did like a live auction bid with the people out for a card around the table.
Yeah.
That would be hilarious. That'd be pretty cool. Like get an actual auctioneer up there.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
That'd be pretty fun. Definitely people would bitch because it'd be annoying, but there would be a lot of people around that section wondering what's going on.
If you could add a piece of entertainment to the convention, to a Collecticon, what would you add? If you could add something.
You first, Grammar.
Can I remove something?
No.
I think we all might know what you want to remove.
And it can't be Jason Page. He's the only reason there's still Collecticons.
That's very true. Yeah, I guess I can't do that. I don't know. I feel like there could be like some kind of live break of some capacity done on like the main stage or in one of the celebrity areas, kind of like what they do with some of the sports events, I think, where you pick like some big streamer like Weedle or someone like big on Whatnot, for example, and you give them like a jungle box or something. Like Collecticon can supply it to them, or maybe gives them the space for free or does something to accommodate for it, and just let them do like either a stream on their platform or do like a live kind of break where people come over and buy in, get a pack, and it gets broken in person. It's all from a sealed box, not CT scanned. I feel like that'd be kind of cool just to have some kind of like engagement with that part of the hobby. It doesn't have to be like super high end either. It could be like Evolving Skies. It could be like, I don't know, what other decent sets, maybe like some of the like how they evolved, maybe, I don't know. But they could definitely do something like that where it would be kind of more interactive way to like engage people that isn't just like blasting your ears off with the Yin Yang Twins and Jason Page or waiting in line for hours to get a autograph from a celebrity.
They I don't know if it was last year. It was one of the earlier ones, I feel like, after the COVID stuff happened, or when we were coming out of it. Yeah, where they broke, what was it, a Kickstarter, MetaZoo, or base set and like Alpha Box or something like that.
Yeah, I think it was
Alpha
Beta.
Magic Box.
Yep.
Oh yeah, it was Beta. Mm-hmm.
Oh, Beta. Yeah, they did a big break like that, and I don't feel like they've ever done that since.
I think that was the last time Catch 'em All Collectibles was a collector.
Yep. he opened his pack. I think he got wrecked and then never collected again.
He got a rare. I thought he got something okay, but yeah, he's down bad.
Yeah, I mean, when you're ripping like vintage Magic, if you don't hit like a Power 9 or a dual land, you just get destroyed.
Speaking of that, Rudy from Alpha Investments posted a video in the last few days. Did you see that video?
Oh yeah, I saw it. It was really cool.
Beta pack. Did you see it, Java?
I haven't seen the video, but I saw the video, but I didn't watch the video.
That was cool. It was cool.
It was sweet.
Check it out. Worth the watch.
Yeah.
What's crazy too is the one guy in the video, Tavis, I believe, he's like a huge historian in the vintage Magic space. He knew like 2 cards into the pack what the rare was going to be, just because he knows how all the packs were mapped back in the day. Yeah. And they just kept telling him to shut up because he knew what the card was. And he knew
the order because they go in order. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because they're mappable. Like they all came off the sheet in a particular way that you can like map them out in advance. So the thing I was thinking, and Greeny, we can get yours after me, but the thing I was thinking would be fun is there seems to be a big crossover at local events of cosplayers and Pokemon card collecting. So something easy that they could do after Jason Page goes on Sunday for the second time. They could even have him do it or bring up a couple of, of the voice actors or whatever for judges and do a cosplay contest. That would be cool. You'd get more people coming in doing the cosplaying thing. And then you could even give away like Collecticon bucks, and they could be like a gift card that you can spend at a booth, and then that booth can redeem it for cash at the end of the show or something. So that, you're kind of rewarding the people who showed up to vend, but you're also giving away a prize to the cosplayers who put in a lot of work. And cosplay's cool. I feel like I see more and more people cosplaying at the different conventions and stuff when I go. So I think that'd be cool.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Something I enjoyed in the early Collecticons was MetaZoo would have tournaments, and I kind of like that about some of the other TCG conventions where they'll have actual tables set up where people are playing. Would be cool to have some version of that, either does One Piece or Lorcana or something, just to have a different type of buyer like in there just for the tournament. And then also, by the way, you could walk around and go buy some stuff. And it was cool also having extra tables there, because the number of tables they usually have there is absolute dog bleep. So just extra tables for people to go sit down and trade or just relax. Like usually the people are all over the floors because there's just no sitting space. Sucks.
Yeah, Charlotte, next to us, there was an entire section that the people just didn't show up to vend. So that became like the concession place where people would just sit and eat and stuff. It's like, well, yeah, might as well. I think the second day someone sat down and just put a bunch of slabs out and just sat behind one of the tables. Because it's just like, well, nobody's there. You might as well.
Yeah, I would.
Not have to pay for the table.
Smart. That's
oh yeah, Hoodoo said there was a section that was empty all weekend. Yeah,
right next to reading that when you mentioned it. That's ironic.
I guess one of my hot topics for the night that I covered earlier on was, do you think that that world's competitor should have been disqualified? What do you think? You can get me banned, Green.
Yeah, he's just rolling dice.
Go ahead, Grammar.
I mean, I have a decent amount of like playing TCGs somewhat competitively background. I played Magic competitively, quote unquote, for a couple of years, and then I played online TCGs quite a bit when I was in college competitively. So I feel like the only thing that makes it kind of a argument at all is that Pokemon is really hard catered towards younger audiences. Like I think on their live streams for the tournaments, they don't even have chat as an option because they don't want people saying anything crazy in there. So when you look at it through that lens, I can kind of understand why they would penalize the guy for the gesture that he did. But I think it's a bit ridiculous, especially because these are like, even though it's like the Masters division, these are like probably 20-ish age people, maybe slightly older or younger. I feel like there's still a lot of pressure in the moment. Like you might not be like thinking 100% like, oh, if I do this one little thing, I'm going to lose out on tens of thousands of dollars. And it's not something that like automatically crosses your mind like that when you're in a high pressure situation, like I'm assuming the player was. So I wouldn't probably have given him a full blown like match loss, which is basically what they did. I think what I would have done is I probably would have just given him a game loss for like the top 4 match if you were going to penalize him at all. Because I do understand why you have to act in that way, because Pokemon is so hard catered towards a younger audience and towards like a family friendly audience as well. But I do think it was a bit excessive. I don't know.
Yeah, I think I said at the beginning that I would have just warned him and been like, don't do that again. If you do that again, you'll be disqualified. And then just gone from there, because you know, like you said, high pressure situation, you're not really thinking, you're excited, you do whatever you do in the moment when you win. And
I think it's tough. Like the guy sat back, he's like, fuck. It's like, fuck yeah, bro. What do you guys think about that? Looking at his homies, he just 2-0'd this kid. I'm like, man, like, yeah, something. Tell him he's not going to be on camera the rest of the event. He's going to be under scrutiny. But yeah, that sucks to see it go. Barstool, I posted on my Instagram story a couple hours ago. Barstool Sports reported on it, which is pretty wild. Crazy. I think he got wrecked. Unfortunate. He lost a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And with a stupid, and then the guy that went like this, like which one's worse, the understroke or
the under for sure.
Yeah, I mean he didn't release, like I saw the video. The guy's like, you didn't let it go. Like instead, like this is okay. You could jack the dude off in your face, but that's normal. That's normal. I don't know. That's strange.
Oh man.
I think the other thing too that made it kind of tough is the guys who lost that match, who ended up winning the whole tournament, I believe. His deck was like super boring to watch. It was, I think, 4 Pokemon. It was 4 Iron Thorns EX. No other Pokemon in the deck. So there were like multiple matches where he would just like have to redraw his starting hand like 6, 7, 8 times because he would just not draw basic Pokemon to start and play. And it's like the way the deck won is just by like not letting your opponent do anything for the most part. So it's like that kind of a deck was just kind of like tough to watch to begin with. And then to have that unfold and this guy end up winning the tournament as a result of it was kind of tough. But congrats to him, obviously. It's to pick a deck like that in a tournament like Worlds that has such high variance and is pretty like boring to play is pretty crazy. I respect the confidence in that for sure.
Yeah, I want a Miraidon to win.
Same.
That deck was so dumb. So dumb. And he only lost, Miraidon only lost because he prized 3 of his freaking electric generators.
Yeah. Another guy like didn't mulligan at all in that last game either.
It's a miracle.
Yeah, crazy.
Ja, will you ever play?
No. I have no idea what you guys are talking about right now. I would have watched it if I would have known when it was on. I feel like it was, I don't know.
All day Sunday, basically.
Yeah, it was on in the evenings, I think, on Friday and Saturday for the TCG tournament. That's what I was watching.
Okay.
The finals was Sunday, I think.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. My wife's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm watching 12-year-olds play with cardboard. Calm down. Chill out. Yeah.
What do you guys think about? Will you be going to Worlds next year? That it's in the States in California?
I don't know. I'm like on the fence. I'm like half tempted to try to qualify for it for the TCG, but I know they just made it a lot harder to do that. So it's kind of hard to say. Like, I don't really get the appeal of going to Worlds, especially when it's somewhere like California, where it's like you can go there pretty easily anyway. Like, I feel like part of the experience of going to Worlds is like this year where you go to Hawaii, you get to go somewhere that you wouldn't normally be at for like your regular day-to-day life or through the Collecticon traveling circuit. So like I think that was part of the allure for this year. I feel like just going to Anaheim is like not that interesting to me. And if I'm not like competing in it, the only real pull for me to go there would be like if we had a bunch of homies going there, which could be the case, but I don't feel super strongly about it either way.
Yeah.
That's the Bay Area, right? Anaheim?
No, I think it's like LA, right? I think the following year's in San Francisco, which I don't know why they did California back-to-back. That's crazy.
Well, the San Francisco one leaked like months ago.
Oh, did it?
Yeah, because there was someone at the convention center that leaked that Pokemon Company had basically like reserved the convention center for a certain amount of time. And I guess that they had been there before, I think, maybe to do a Worlds or some sort of event. So they went online and were like, hey, Pokemon just did this thing. And then everyone was like, oh, Worlds is going to be in San Francisco. And then we got Worlds in San Francisco. It just happens to be 2 years from now instead of 1. Yeah, I mean, I kind of feel the same way. Like, I feel like Japan Worlds would have been the coolest one to go to.
It'll be back.
Yeah, for sure.
But there will never be another first.
I thought Australia would be really cool. I would have done Australia potentially.
Oh man, that flight though.
I mean, yeah, I'm from
flight's probably like 20 some hours
area, so it's not that bad. But for you guys on the East Coast, bro, that's tough.
Yeah, it'd be brutal.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to do Anaheim. My sister lives in LA. So yeah, and I would love the Mighty Ducks. So going to see a Mighty Ducks game down in Anaheim would be effing dope. And they got new jerseys. I'd have to buy one. They look freaking sick. If you haven't seen them, check them out. Super dope. Yeah, it'd be one of those dirty scalpers buying staff promos for 100 pounds.
Selling them for 1,000 or whatever. Yeah, I don't know.
For 1,000.
I don't really see the appeal of that. I get the collecting part on the second hand, like years down the line. Like I had a 2013 Champions Festival for a long time, just never sold. But it was cool card, cool art. And I understand like the history of all that. Like I think especially if you're a competitor and you go there like every year, having like the full progression of all those cards is pretty sweet.
That'd be
So I
sick.
understand that. Like I think Jake Pokenomics' partner Dylan, I think he won Worlds in like 2008 in like the junior senior division. So like I know he has like a big attachment to like the whole history of all those cards, which is super cool. But I mean, like, I'm not a big fan of like selling all the merch, buying it, and then like flipping it for like 5-6x, man. I think some of it, like the Hawaii stuff, is pretty cool, so you can kind of justify it because a lot of the merch is pretty sick. But that's not the kind of reselling per se that I typically engage in. Not that it's wrong or anything; it's just not my cup of tea.
I feel you. What are they gonna put like? Because they can't do scuba gear for Anaheim. What the hell are they gonna put on the freaking merch for Anaheim?
That's the real question, honestly. I don't know what you could put on there.
Bums?
That would print.
A bunch of homeless people holding Pikachus?
Hiding in Garbodars.
That would be cool.
Trubbishes. Did you
Yeah,
guys
pretty
see
much.
that Weedle got a number 4 trophy?
Yeah, I
pretty
watched
cool.
his video about it earlier today. I'm super hyped for him.
Oh, I didn't know he posted a video. I know he posted the Instagram.
Yeah, I would check out his video. It's pretty cool. His hotel, first off, like his room's view is absurd.
Yeah.
It's so nice.
It was
And
nuts.
yeah, I mean, he's grinded so hard with eBay Live and now doing Whatnot, having like Thrifty and Chef help him out on that. And I believe he has a baby on the way as well, coming pretty soon, which is awesome as well. So it's like he's just stacking W's at this point. It's super cool to see him really succeed like that.
Yeah, his recap video is really good. Check it out for sure.
Yeah,
I think I was the first commenter, not to toot my own horn, but
You were the first.
bam. That's what happens when you work from home, boys.
True. Well, hopefully that goes to the right place. That should be Weedle's video. But no, that's cool. I saw someone was getting absolutely destroyed on Burbank because they posted that they were looking to buy all the trophy cards and they were going to give a 0.0 or was it was 0.5% finder's fee on the transaction, and people are like, what the fuck? Like half of it's like $250 to find him a $50,000 plus card. Oh man. Yeah, people are roasting him.
Yeah,
All right, we got
Mr.
Mr. Contentious coming on. We got Old Card Shop. How's it going, man?
What's up, guys? How's it going?
Speaking of LA,
Yes. It's in
Well,
Worlds is in your neck of the woods 2 years in a row.
Yeah, I heard you guys talking about California and how excited you were about it. I thought I'd come in and damper the expectations.
so what do you think's going on the merch?
To be all honest, I just spent like 5 minutes trying to get into this stream, so I didn't hear anything you guys were just talking about. So I'm gonna have to play catch up. But what do I think about the merch for this year's World?
No, for Anaheim, what is like, because for Honolulu, scuba gear, water, oceans, Anaheim, what do they is like their go-to like backdrop? And
You want to know what would be the spiciest thing they could do that they're probably not gonna do?
what?
Disney crossover, because that's the only thing I think about with Anaheim is Disneyland.
I saw it. It's right in the middle of it.
That'd be wild.
But they wouldn't do that.
No.
Too much IP crossover.
But if
So,
they
like,
did, though,
I mean, Anaheim's known for its orange groves. Historically, it's like orange. It's an orange area, like a farming town.
Orange County? That's not Orange County, is it?
So I could see like Pikachu in like a farmer's thing with like a basket of oranges or something, like, you know, cutesy in a kimono or something like that. Because that's what they play that up in Anaheim when it's not the Disney thing. I spend a ton of time in Anaheim because that's where I stay when I go to Southern California. Instead of staying in LA, which is the worst part of California, it's smoggy. The people are like all angry and rich, and they're just fast paced, like living with their sunglasses on and their headphones in and driving their Ferraris or whatever they do in LA, watching podcasts while they're just ignoring everyone, the homeless people on the street. It's a horrible situation in LA. I hate going there every time. It makes me want to become a supervillain against humanity. I understand how supervillains are born when I'm stuck in traffic in LA for like an hour. It takes less than an hour for me to go from like a light side Jedi, usual leaning person to being like full on dark side. I'm gonna kill all the younglings. It's very quick how the LA traffic will change a person. Anyway, Anaheim's a different story. It's a beautiful, wonderful place. Even if it's not Disney, the people are nice. It's like not smoggy. It seems to be like good weather, and it's not as expensive as LA either. So the whole orange thing is something they very much so play up in that town. Like it's like farmer friendly. So they'll probably do something like that.
Now, I wonder, when I think of California, and I could be wrong, but when I think of California, I think of like skaters, skating, sports like that. It could be like a graffiti / skater type of vibe.
That would be really cool. I definitely think of like surfing and like, if Anaheim doesn't really have beaches as much. It's not really a beach town. But if you were to go like one town over or something, or like very short, there's water. So it definitely, well, actually, I think there might be some, no, take that back. There might be some water in Anaheim. I'm not sure. It might extend out to the water.
That'd be
Maybe
cool.
not though.
Sure, they have options. They'll figure something out. They always put cool. I thought their Honolulu merch was super good. I thought all of those, like the Squirtle with the bubbles for like glasses, and the I don't know. They just did a lot of like cute as heck stuff for.
I think the merch is all overrated. It's like super overrated, and like not even talking about value wise. I've always been of the type that, I don't know, like when I go somewhere, I don't like to get things that have like the date or the year on the thing. I like to get stuff that's like unique to the place, that's like doesn't have a time or date associated with it. And it seems gaudy. I don't know, like as someone who goes places and buys souvenirs a lot, I love souvenirs. I don't like the souvenirs that I get to be like summer of 2024, cruise ship destination. Like I want it to be like something that reminds me of that trip, but like it's subtle, and that exists. And so like the world stuff that has like the year and date and like the location, like Honolulu 2024, with like Pikachu with the scuba diving thing, and it all has the same merch. It really just doesn't do it for me, dog. It ain't for me. It's like insert Randy Jackson meme there. It ain't for me, dog. And especially the fact that it's like hundreds of dollars and it's all like playing up the limited thing. It's like, and it's for players. I think it'd be one thing if I was a player. That's super cool because you're a part of it. You want the date associated with it. But as a buyer of it, as a merch buyer, I don't know, man. I just think it's overrated.
Yeah, I think there were a couple things that were less like dated like that, I guess. Like the Hawaiian shirt with all the different designs on it and stuff, the button-up Hawaiian shirt, that was super cool because that was just like Hawaii with Pokemon stuff all over the place, and it felt more subtle than just like print a large graphic tee with a big date and logo on it. It was more, I thought it was nicer, but I ain't gonna pay $225 for it, that's for sure. That's wild.
Did you guys see the shirt that just released on Pokemon Center today? It's like the button-down Hawaiian type shirt. It's way cooler than the shirt they had at Worlds.
Well, that's
it's
the one
like,
that had like the starters on it, right?
It's Alolan themed. It has Alolan Executor, but it also has like a Dragonite flying in the background, like Psyduck on the beach. It is literally gorgeous. I've seen the shirt in person. I had the pleasure of seeing it last weekend in Seattle when I went to Vend with Retrospecs. I saw it across the room being worn by some guy, and I went over. I was like, "Yo, Nick, watch my table. I got to find out where this guy got that shirt." I ran over to this dude, and Nick's girlfriend can attest to this. I was like, "Yo, dude, where'd you get that shirt? That's super dope." And I made him turn around, let me see the whole shirt, and he's like, "Oh, it's in New Jersey. They sold out really quick." I was like, "Oh, when? Like years ago?" Because it looks vintage. And he's like, no, just this last year. It was really recently, but they sold out of all of them. This is oversized. He's like, this wasn't my shirt. It's not my size. I just bought it because it was the last one. And I was looking at it. The stitching is beautiful on it. The branding is really like subtle in the corner. It says like Pokemon Center. I was like sitting there salivating. I was like, oh, bro, that's such a find. And then today it dropped on Pokemon Center. So I'm super excited. I bought one. So I'm very happy.
I got to grab one, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
those
it
are
looks
sweet.
cool. Yeah, I like it.
It's got Java's favorite Pokemon on it too. Big tree.
Who?
Who? Oh, the tree.
Yeah, the big tree. There's like 5 of them on there.
Have you already made everyone mad talking about how it's your favorite, your not favorite era, Scarlet and Violet?
Oh yeah, I did that weeks ago. Yeah.
Is that a hot take? Is that something that you get heat for? You said.
Yeah.
You have a bigger following than me because whenever I say that, people don't get as mad because I've been on that for a while too.
No, yeah, it was definitely. I don't know. I think people heard the take and they were like, they just think that I think the entire era is just trash. Like the art's trash, everything is trash, and it's like, I think the art's great, all that stuff. My only point was that the Pokemon that they've chosen for chases this entire era has been pretty meh, and that was the only point. But people conflate that, into like this bigger picture, like, oh, I'm just a hater of everything Scarlet and Violet, and all that. So
no, I think that's reasonable, man. I think that sounds completely reasonable, honestly.
no,
I think
Mason
Java
doesn't like that take. What'd you say?
I said I think Java just hates Pokemon.
Yeah, I agree.
True.
Don't even play the game. Like, come on.
I still don't understand how you think Scarlet Violet is like unplayable. Like I know it's not the best game ever in the franchise, but I don't get that.
I'm not an open world video game person. I like when a game has a story and it's like, okay, you're gonna play through the story. Not when the game is like, okay, there's a story, but from point A to point B, there's gonna be 700 things that are gonna make you basically do like the squirrel thing, like a dog. Where you're like, oh, squirrel. Shiny thing, gotta grab it. Shiny thing, gotta grab it. And then by the time, like 2 hours later, when I finally get back, oh shit, there's a story in this game. What was I doing again? And then it's just like, I just got taken all over the place, and now I don't know where I'm at. And so I'm definitely a person who cannot stay like focused in a open world game. I can't and the game, like every time I try to play it, I start the game over, which is always the problem because then you have to go through the 3-hour intro to the game. Over and over again because has a horrible intro, just like the last like 4 Pokemon games have had super long tutorial intros to them. But yeah, I just haven't been able to get past the open world part of it, and my, yeah.
Can we all say our favorite open world game before Java? And Java, you have to say each one that we say if you liked it or not, because I'll say a really badass open world game that I think you'd have a hard time if you played it saying you didn't like it.
Okay, go for it.
The Zelda that came out, not the last one that came out, but the one before.
Breath of the Wild.
Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, Breath of the Wild. Did you play that one?
Yeah.
Okay. What did you like that one?
It's all right.
That's an open world game, my friend.
I know, but I would say that it's I would say that it was good, but it was I've had this take for a while, but I think it's extremely overrated in terms of as video games go.
I would say in replayability, I agree with you, but on the first playthrough, that game is so fun and addicting. I can't even say much about it. But it does get kind of old after a while if you don't finish it, I guess. But that's how any open world game is. Say the same for Skyrim or, you just kind of gotta. Eventually, you lose interest because if you spend 2 years playing one game, open world game, no matter how good the game is, if you don't finish it, it's going to get boring. That's kind of my take on open world games or people.
Yeah.
Who,
I think sometimes open world games focus too much on how big they can be instead of how flesh out their world is. We're going to have the biggest open world of all time, but then there's nothing in it. And it's okay, well, what's the point of having a world so big if there's nothing to do in it? Or it's so sparse in enemies and stuff. So it's if you had, I wish the size of the world felt purposeful in a lot of open world games where it's the size is justified by all the things you can do or all these different cool side quests and all these different, like Skyrim was interesting because it had all the different quests you could do, but then everywhere on the map were these little dungeons you could go into, and you could, you know, loot them for different things for your character and all that, which made it a lot more fun exploring the world, especially the first time through. Than I think something like Breath of the Wild was fun, but I felt like the world was kind of samey in a lot of spots. It was like the only enemies you were really going to face on the overworld was the exact same encampment of like the goblin looking guys, just kind of copy and paste it all across the world. And then occasionally you'd run into the metal
Finals.
like guardian. Oh yeah, well they did have the Lionels. That's true. Those guys
I mean,
were.
it had some
Yeah.
layers, just like any game. It had its limitations and layers or whatever.
Yeah.
I hear you. I get what you're saying. But you just said you didn't like open world games just on a vacuum, and I had to throw at least a couple at you to be like, for you to be like, no, I don't like those. So I could be like, what? But
I prefer games, linear games with a really good story. So I'm more of like I really like playing the Last of Us games. I like the Uncharted games. I like the God of War games. The newer God of War games were good, but they even started to have like little kind of more open world elements to them. I just like really like good linear games that tell a really good story. It's like my favorite type of game. But now most games are open world, so it's hard to come by those nowadays.
Did any of you guys ever play the old Sony Spider-Man 2 game on like PlayStation 2? It was the first Spider-Man game that was like an open world one.
It was on the ground, yeah.
Yeah, it was really, really, really good. Like I think that one was like a groundbreaking open world game for sure, where you could like swing around, and it was very, very well done for like someone who loved. I liked Grand Theft Auto a lot, but I was an RPG kind of kid, and I also like comic books, and Spider-Man was like my favorite superhero. Always was, he still is. And so like that game brought all those things together in such a beautiful like chef's kiss kind of way.
Yeah, no, that was a good game. Even the Spider-Man 1, which was good. It was open world, but you couldn't go on the ground, which sucked.
The new I don't know if you guys have played the new Spider-Man games. Those are open world, but I actually like those because I feel like they've focused on telling like a good story with them as well. And the movement in the new Spider-Man games like was just super fun. Like I could just do that all day, flying around the city, different, stopping robberies and all the random stuff that pops up while you're going from mission to mission. Like, yeah, that game was fun.
Yeah, all I play now is Apex and Rocket League, so I don't get to play any cool games.
Rocket League.
Yeah, it's been a minute, man. It's been a minute.
It is. That game's fun.
Do you think that there's a world where an open world RPG, MMORPG, Pokemon game could like take off now that like it's past that day and age, or are MMOs kind of video games like that not really the thing, and it has to be like a mobile game in order for it to take off?
I think a Pokemon MMO has been what everyone's been asking for like the last decade. Like like if you started in Kanto MMO style, and then each expansion that came out was the new area, and then you just kept building on the area and you fleshed it out and gave it more like side mission type things to do. And yeah, I think it would be super fun to play all the different areas in one title, or in one kind of progressive system when everyone's kind of leveling together and catching Pokemon and battling, and that'd be super cool.
I wish they did that with Pokemon Go. I wish they took like that level system, like that, all of that from those games. The battle system, that's absolute trash. Give me the turn-based stuff, not the screen finger blasting stuff. I'm good. Yeah. Crazy.
I always wondered why they did the battle system the way they did when they had something so good laid out for them in the games. I thought it had to have been something about like not wanting to compete with their actual gameplay, and so they had some copyright about. I had no idea. I always speculated why they didn't just copy it, because it would have been so easy just to port over the moves and use the same system, but instead they made their own shitty thing that nobody asked for and nobody liked, and just really doubled down on it later on in a patch. So it seemed really weird.
Yeah, I think it's the company that originally made Pokemon Go. They probably had some idea of what they wanted to do before like the actual Pokemon company could step in and be like, hey, you should just make the battle system like it is in almost every other game, and it would make way more sense and be more engaging. Then the parent company's like, now let's have people smash their thumb on the screen for 5 minutes straight. And I mean, people enjoy it. I don't understand why, but there's definitely an audience for it. And like, I don't think that really like detracts from the game, especially when it released. Like, no one cared about battling when you first got it, because like in 2016, everyone's going to like every Pokestop in the state, just going around trying to catch Snorlax, trying to catch Charizard. Like, the battling didn't matter. I almost felt like it was like an afterthought almost.
I cared about battling. That was the reason I was collecting all those stupid. I was literally collecting them all, waiting for them to release battling, thinking it was going to matter. And when it didn't matter, I was very disappointed.
I always like the idea of the whole like taking your gym, like the closest gym to your house. Like I had a gym at the end of the road at this like abandoned little mill building thing at the time. And it was like, yeah, if I could hold that gym, like that's my gym. It's in my neighborhood. Like people are gonna have to fight me for that. And then I figured out what battling was, and I was like, this is stupid. like I don't even care. This is dumb. But yeah. It was still, I mean, obviously Pokemon Go was crazy.
Yeah. I mean, when it launched, it was absolutely absurd how popular it was. And it's still like, it still does super well now in the App Store. Like the microtransaction they have set up, it just prints money for them. Even like almost a decade past when it was released, which is crazy.
Yeah, there's still a whole group of people that go. We have one guy actually, but there's a whole group of people that walk downtown where I'm at and do it on, what is it, Sunday? Is that raid day or something like that, or Wednesday or something like that? You always see them on the same day hanging out downtown where all the Pokestops are. But there's one guy. He's an older guy. And this guy is decked out. I don't know how many phones he actually has, but he has two like pouches here that he puts two phones. And then he has one other phone. And then when there's like a raid or something or a shiny or something, he lays out like a kitchen towel type of thing. And then he puts all like 5 of his phones on the kitchen towel, like on the table downtown. And then you just see him like swiping, trying to catch all the different Pokemon. Like, what does it benefit you to have like 6 different accounts to catch these things on?
Isn't there an aftermarket?
I don't know if it's legal, but I think there is
Probably
one.
not,
Yeah.
but there's definitely like there's got to be like a Reddit middleman group
For
where you
sure.
can buy and sell training or shinies for sure.
I mean, is there an aftermarket for Beanie Babies? Like,
No.
I'm sure it exists to a certain extent, but I don't know if it's a good aftermarket. Is my point.
So you think he's making money doing it?
No, I
No.
promise you, he's not making money doing it.
He's just doing it strictly for the love of the game.
That man is
Respect.
addicted. He's addicted. From what
You
you just
get him
told
a
me,
Pokemon Flea
I know an addicted person when I can hear them. He's a fiend. No offense to that man if he's watching right now. You are a fiend at Pokemon Go. You do you, boo. Don't let me or anyone else tell you otherwise. But he is addicted.
Did you guys ever try to do the like taping your phone to the ceiling fan to have it count steps? You remember when that was a thing back?
Oh, for the Pokemon Go.
Pokemon Go back in the
Egg
day. with
hatching
eggs
or
and stuff?
whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I just got one of those. I was really bad. I bought one of those things that like would be with you and it would like auto catch for you and count your steps when you didn't have the game going. Like you just had, it was just always on basically. So as long as I had space in my Pokedex and Pokeballs and something was nearby, it would auto try to catch everything that was nearby. I was super cheat mode on it, but I was super addicted to
Add
that
my
game.
screen to the.
I don't know how to do that. Wait, do I just click? Oh yeah, okay.
These
Okay.
are sold
That's
listings on eBay.
Whew.
Honolulu Pikachu.
What are people buying? What?
These are world exclusive.
He is making
Shiny
money
Ghastly.
doing it.
Hold on.
Shiny Kangaskhan.
Maybe this was the play at Worlds.
I'm
40
kind of
days.
shook. I didn't
Whoa,
think
whoa,
people
whoa.
still did this.
Shiny Pikachu
225
Libre,
bucks?
$225.
No
What are
shot.
we talking about here?
Yeah.
What are we talking about here?
I had to click on it.
Wait, was that an armored Pikachu? Or
No, it's got like a
Mewtwo?
Libre mask
No, it's a
on.
Libre.
Luchador.
Oh yeah.
So how do you
Special
get
edition,
it? In order
bro,
to trade, it costs, you have to be friends, and so like in
Whoa, whoa,
the
whoa.
listing, do they have to become friends
No,
and then
50?
trade?
This guy
Yeah, I
sold
think
his
that's how it
account.
works.
Oh, that's a whole account.
Oh, okay. That's still crazy, though.
It's got to be illegal.
I mean, I think this is the play for next Worlds, though, no? Like, the first couple solds were all from, like, Honolulu exclusive Worlds Pokemon. I feel like you just catch, like, a dozen of those and you just flip them for, like, $25. That's free money.
So, I don't look at one of the seller's feedback. 98% positive feedback.
Eight
Okay.
available.
Pokemon Go. That's literally the name of his
Yeah,
store.
I'm with Hoot Hoot in the chat. He's saying it takes like a month to build up enough friendship to trade without it being like 1,000,000 Stardust. I know that you guys, if you didn't play Pokemon Go, it's not going to mean much to you saying that. But 1,000,000 Stardust is not easy to acquire in this game.
So instead of like packaging your orders, you have to grind Stardust.
So like, how are these people going to pay $225 and then expect to pay 1,000,000 Stardust on top of that? It doesn't seem realistic. These are shilled. These aren't real sold listings. Look how they're all buy it nows and none of them are auctions, bro. You see that?
Maybe the auction market just untapped potential.
Pokemon Go. 8,000 items sold.
Okay, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that sounds like he actually does this all the time.
Wait, check his sold listings. I want to see what his
Check and see if he's in Raleigh, North Carolina. I'm pretty sure I know this guy.
Something ain't right here, dog. Something ain't.
What's today's date? He's got 4 sold items today. He sold more in Pokemon Go than I did in cards.
Wait, what's the just Pokemon listing below this? What is that?
Like, what's it say in the listing? Like for these.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is it just like a donation?
I guess. I don't know what he's selling.
Equivalent of people like in 2019, 2020 who got back in the hobby finding out their old Pokemon cards are worth money. Now everyone's getting out their old Pokemon Go account, thinking everything they have is worth $100, $200 per shiny. Listen, there's got to be something about this that ain't right. I'm telling you. This doesn't feel right.
In Hawaii.
Otherwise, I'm going to Dubai, baby, because I got some shit.
Interesting.
Danazard's on it. How much does shiny Blastoise with glasses go for? Oh boy. Oh man.
You just got us rich talking about that. Jeez. Jeez.
That is wild.
All right, let's edit that whole part out, and then we can all be exclusively rich.
Exactly.
Yeah, we all have to play now.
Everyone in the chat. This is our secret, all
7
right?
Pokemon yesterday.
This is our entire secret. Don't tell anyone. Shh.
Wow. This is impressive stuff. Ooh, a shiny Kyogre's $100. He sold that. Wow. Okay.
That's crazy.
It's pretty wild.
I should ask that guy downtown. Be like, hey, do you make money doing this?
Couldn't hurt to ask. I mean,
Yeah,
people ask you that with your Pokemon cards, and it's not really offensive, right?
Yeah, no.
People ask me all the time. It's not offensive.
Yeah.
I always answer the same way. Allegedly.
Like, I break even.
Something like that. That was a wild ride, though, because as someone who used to be pretty addicted to Pokemon Go, I could have swore that all those shinies and all that time was 100% wasted, but apparently it was only like mostly wasted.
Oh yeah, that's funny. That's cool. Didn't know.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Mason out here with the hot take alleging money laundering on the poor fellow, the poor bloke who's just out here trying to catch them all. Called him some sort of federal criminal.
Probably just a way for the guy to get paid for any number of things,
bro. No one's asking like what you're doing with some of the cards and employees that come through the shop. All right.
You guys ever think of those mattress stores?
Let them cook. Let that Pokemon.
They're on like
go
every
back.
corner, and no one's ever inside.
$20 for Pokemon.
Just go to my eBay. Just go to my eBay and say it's for Pokemon, for shiny Pokemon, okay? And then come through the back door and we'll weigh it out. Is that what the guy's doing? Is that what you're saying, Mason?
What if that eBay listing for the red and white Pokeball, the $20 one, was a mystery Pokemon Go Pokemon for $20? Shine like
unlock the next level of like money making potential.
The next level of mystery.
Whoa.
Mystery boxes.
Oh man, this is some good shit. This is
virtual loot crates.
The Patreon, behind the Patreon wall, Java.
Spilling all the sauce.
Wait, Josh, do they have loot crates in Pokemon Go now, or is it like pretty much the same as it was when it started?
I legitimately haven't opened my app in like over a year. 2 years probably at this point.
They got mystery eggs, but you can't buy those, I don't think. I don't know.
Sure.
You probably can.
Maybe on eBay you could.
It's wild. I think I'm more apt to believe that it's a money laundering scheme than to believe someone's actually paying more than like $4.99 for any of these shinies, with the dust included, or the time that would be necessary, or the hoops you'd have to jump through just to trade. Like, it seems all these things seem so unlikely to me that I'm more willing to believe that there's money laundering or some sort of elaborate scheme going on in the background.
I think it makes sense because you look at other games like Rocket League. You look at the shooter one on the PC that people buy stuff skins for. Those are just skins.
CS:GO.
CS:GO. People make a living off CS:GO skins. That's people's full-time jobs is flipping those skins. And that does not give you any boost in the game. And these actually do. You can pay for 3-star Pokemon max attack points.
No, it randomizes on trade.
Really?
Yeah. Yes, that's what I'm trying to tell you. You could have the best 100% Kyogre, and it doesn't matter on the receiving end.
Yeah,
it randomizes so that you can't gamify it like that. That's why it's blowing my effing mind right now. As someone
it doesn't roll the shiny though, right? The shiny still goes.
It would still be shiny, yes.
Okay.
So
that's all
they're buying a skin, I guess.
The trick is what you do is if you have the Pokemon that's crappy IVs or crappy like stats, you trade it to someone else because you randomizes, you swap. But once it's traded once, it's locked to your account as well. So once you trade it to that other person, once you buy it from eBay, it's on your account. You can't then get it to someone else. You can't even trade it back to another. It's locked in. GG's, bro. You're fucked. Sorry. Like,
what if you disconnect the link cable 3 seconds after hitting the trade button?
I don't get it. It doesn't make sense to me. It blows my mind. It's got to be money laundering. Like, I mean, I was trolling Mason, but he's probably right.
I mean, my only argument against that is there could be some sicko completionists out there that are like hardcore grinders, been doing it for 8-9 years, and then they miss like one weekend of an event, and they're like, "Oh, I need to get this Pokemon because I need to get it. I need to have everything. I gotta catch them all." But they don't want to ask their friends because they don't want to be like, "Hey, I missed this event. Can you hook me up?" So they go to the black market and they buy it there, and they're like, "Oh, look what I got a week ago."
Market. The black.
Yeah, okay, so something like that makes sense. They do stupid hats. They're exclusive release, shiny variants of stupid hats that are time limited to like 2 days during the event, like during certain hours. And sometimes they're location limited too. And some of them are also like regional Pokemon that they only release in that region that you have to literally travel in real life. So that argument, I can understand that no matter how much time and effort to get it over a Stardust it takes you. But some of the Pokemon that were showing up on there are just common variants that weren't like shiny hat variants or weren't event locked or anything of the sort. So the only argument I could hear that I would be like, okay, sure, there are some people, there's some sickos out there who will pay for a shiny hat Bidoof, old card shop, 2024 JavaAkuma stream, a call-in show stream variant because you had to be here and you had to catch this shiny version. I would pay a lot more for that too. But other than that, you couldn't ever tell me that people are paying for these stupid Pokemon Go things. Like, okay, but you make a good argument for the shiny variants of the stupid hats that are for completionists.
don't know if you guys have seen gotcha games before, but there's a lot of waifus out there that get paid for with a lot of money on these different gotcha games, like Honkai Star Rail and Genshin Impact and all that. And people
Oh, I know what you're talking
insane
about.
amounts of money to
Yeah.
pull just like a 5-star waifu character to play in the next, expansion of the game. Yeah, people will spend money on some wild stuff.
I used to play Teamfight Tactics, which is like a auto battler, I think, through League of Legends, like Riot Games. And one of the big streamers for that used to play Honkai Star Rail, I believe is what it's called. And he used to just do in between games, he would just degen, spend like thousands of dollars to like maybe get like one like max rarity character that you need to play competitively or whatever.
Yeah.
And it looked like the darkest thing ever. And I just don't know how those games work, but I understand at the same time because there are people that just go down that rabbit hole and have whale money and just want to spend it.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's wild.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of dark times where people have a lot of money and they don't know what to do with it, and they're being encouraged to spend it. Like, I remember when I was on Whatnot in the early days when Blake Martinez was running a bunch. His streams popped off, man. He would be the only one running the craziest vintage boxes, and there'd be like 5 people, and there would be the same people bidding these things up. And a couple of them you would recognize as being like, okay, these guys like sell a lot, but the other people, they're just buyers. And I feel like they were really just like addicted to buying at the time because they just like disappeared after that too. Like, it's pretty wild, like how I think people get caught up in the moment. You start bidding and buying on these things you're really excited about, and then you just kind of, it snowballs.
Yep.
Same for those digital games,
Yeah, I don't know what do you guys think if Pokemon Pocket adds an online marketplace to buy and sell cards? How do you think that will impact the physical medium?
There ain't no way that's ever going to happen. But
not
It would be cool.
impact,
It'd be
but
cool.
I think they will, and I think it would be cool. And I think if they did it right, it could be insanely successful as like another avenue of revenue for them. It's just a totally different type of person who's going to like collect digital widgets to a person who's going to collect cardboard widgets.
Do you think kids would be more inclined to collect digital because they seem to be the ones that want all the Fortnite skins and all that stuff, and they're already kind of primed to understand value in digital, like collectible type things?
I think it just depends if they can flex it on their friends or not. Like, if you could like spend money on the game and you have like some alt art max rarity Charizard and you could play that in a game, be like, yo, I just destroyed you with this super expensive card, and you get that huge dopamine hit, I could see that being a thing. But like, I think kids for the most part are probably like 50-50. Like, I'm sure some kids prefer the full digital route, but I'm sure people prefer like the actual physical cards because you could flex those as well. I think at the end of the day, it just comes down to flexing. So I don't really think there's a major difference on either end.
Flex culture, very important right now. Agreed.
Especially when you're like a kid too. Like, if you're in like on the playground per se, I don't even know if they have playgrounds nowadays, but it's like, if you could just like do anything with flex on your homies like that, like that's always just such a huge confidence boost, I feel like. So I think it would probably do decently well on that front.
I like that they're doing unique cards for that digital game.
Yeah.
I know that some people are, the cards look amazing and I would love to get them physically as well. But I do like that they are doing like, it draws people to want to try it since there's going to be like unique things for that. But I think it would also make it better to have like the chases in the app be different cards than the chases in the physical like boxes. I think that's a good way to differentiate the product.
And then what they do in the future, like what we did with the Pokemon Go set, except maybe they do it well this time, is they just take all the best pocket cards, all the best full arts and alt arts and whatever. They just stuff them in a set. They call it like Pokemon Pocket, and then maybe throw some other adjective on it, and then they print money that way if it works out. I feel like that would be like a pretty legit, reasonable plan for them.
Yeah, that'd be cool. So
It's a little bit rich that they're choosing all these like really nice Gen 1, like beautiful art,
Right.
like Pokemon for Pocket. And like then Scarlet and Violet, like, here's a Clauncher. You guys like Clauncher, right? Oh, there's another Duraludon. You guys like that one, right? You don't need a Drag. You just had Dragonite like 10 sets ago, 12 sets ago. You don't need another one, right?
We got the Turtle UPC coming. We got the Greninja box with like 3 metal cards that are all flat EXs.
Cool.
I feel like it's because there's 30-year-olds and 40-year-olds making the handheld game, so they know what we like, and it's a bunch of 70-year-olds that are making the cards. So
cool.
Yeah, it'd be cool though. I like those. I like when they showed off those cards that were almost like virtual experiences where you could like go into the card. It was in like their first trailer. I think I forget if it was like a Rattata that was like climbing on a branch or something, but then you could go into the card and it was like there were a bunch of other Pokemon and you were in like this kind of virtual like area and you could look around and I don't know if you could interact with anything, but it was cool, like cool way to make the cards more interactive than just being, you know, flat cards on your screen. But yeah, some of the cards look really nice. Like the Articuno looks really nice. Yeah, I mean all the cards. I mean there's a Pikachu, right? I think that looks really nice. The Pidgeot, is that the one grabbing the Magikarp out of the water? That one looks nice. Yeah, there's a lot of cool cards in that. So is that going to be kind of like an abridged version of the game, or is that like the full experience of the game?
I would compare it to like Duel Links for Yu-Gi-Oh, but it's for Pokemon. So they're like shrinking the game and simplifying it, which like suits the mobile experience a bit more than the current game. Because I think the current app for Pokemon TCG is pretty clunky. I think that's the consensus with it. So they're trying to like simplify the game to some extent, so it's more like user friendly, more like UI friendly. And I think that's what they're planning on doing. I don't think they're going to divert from that at all, which could work out really well.
Okay.
You know what Duel Links is, Java?
No idea, but I get the concept.
Greeny does.
I get what you're saying.
I was like, this guy don't even know how to play Pokemon. I didn't know why he fucking knows what Duel Links is.
So that aspect, I want to hear you guys, because you guys are all players besides Java. Sorry, our generous host, but I really do want to hear your two takes on this, because that one aspect about Pocket made me exceptionally bearish when the announcement came out at first. I really wanted a new, really nicely rendered version of the TCG, like that actually worked, like a new version of the game that you could play on your phone that was well done with beautiful arts and nice animations and smooth running formatting and everything, that would actually play the game, that would help kids learn the game, that then would apply and then play the TCG. To me, the Pocket game is initially just to try to get them addicted to like the gotcha element and the spending money on the digital and keep them separate from the card. So it made me less excited about it than I would have been if the announcement was that they were just redoing for the X time, the 20th time, the app and making it run better. So what do you guys think as players? Is that good or bad that it's not going to be like keeping kids the actual game?
I have one question quick. How long does a normal match of Pokemon take?
Not long. It's a very simplified game. Like, that's the thing. Dumbing down Pokemon is sort of the funniest thing I've ever heard, because it's already such a dumbed down game. No offense. I like the game. I played the game a lot, but it's such a simplified compared to other TCGs. Your opponent, you sit back and you watch your opponent play. And then when it's your turn. You don't interrupt. You don't have responses. You don't have any sort of like reaction. You just play out your hand. You play out your hand, and then your opponent plays out your hand. It's a very straightforward and simplistic, kid-friendly format for a game. So I don't understand how you simplify it more or make it quicker.
Yeah, I was just thinking, like, a lot of times I feel like video games or mobile games or stuff like this, you want to get people like in and out of matches. Like, you want to. There needs to be like a time component. Like, if you're on your phone, you probably don't want to be on your phone for like 20 minutes. doing a match. So like if you can burn through like 5 matches in 20 minutes or 2 matches in 20 minutes and they're only like 5 to 10 minutes a match because it's like a simplified version of that game that you really like, that's gonna be more like a dopamine hit for like a mobile game than maybe like the full game. But I honestly don't even know how long a full game usually is, so it could already be like a 10-minute thing. I'm not sure. But yeah, what do you guys think, players?
I'm under the assumption that they could, in theory, scale it up to be the full game at some point in the future. If you look at it through the lens of like Magic Arena, which was another like big change, like updated software for Magic, which I think is still the best TCG to this date. I haven't played One Piece, but I've heard is really good too. But Magic's top tier in my opinion, from my experience. I've played a lot of it. But yeah, when they first released Magic Arena, it was like all single player, best of one. You could do like the limited game modes, but you would do it only with computers as the supporting cast, I guess you would say. It took like multiple years after they like soft launched the game outside of beta for them to flesh everything out to where it is now, to where you can play every game mode pretty much that you want. You can do like limited draft format where you can have 7 other human beings drafting and doing the same thing you are, building your decks, which is super fun. That's how I always enjoyed playing Magic when I played it growing up. So it's like, I think Pokemon in theory could go that route with Pocket and just slowly like add that kind of layers of options into the game over time. They could also just do like what Duel Links did and just go further down the rabbit hole and make it super gacha, make it just like you have to buy all these boxes, which are like super low run to pull the specific cards you need to play for your decks. But it really just depends on what they're trying to accomplish with the game. Like you said, I don't think Pokemon's like innately a complex game at all. Like, again, it's pretty solitaire heavy, especially like the first couple turns. So I don't really see like how simplifying Pokemon long term would make like sense for them to do it. I think part of the issue I've had with Duel Links as well is I think Yu-Gi-Oh's design is just way worse in modern times compared to Pokemon. I think Pokemon's is probably not the best either. I haven't played it for too long. But I know Yu-Gi-Oh's is like particularly bad, and I know like watching modern Yu-Gi-Oh is like watching like a PhD level math dissertation from like both sides of the players on the match, which is just absurd. But I don't know. I think it'll be fine. I think it'll be interesting to see what they do in the first year in terms of like what their goals and like their outlook is, because I think that'll tell a lot of how they want to project the game moving forward. It's kind of hard to say now when we don't have all the information yet, but I kind of think they would rather just have the 3v3 version released just so they have a product on the market to start getting data, start getting people to spend money on it. And then once they start seeing what like their consumer base wants and what they feel like would be best direction-wise for it, then they could expand it to potentially being like a better version of like what Pokemon TCG Live is now. But I don't know. It's pretty open-ended, I feel like, still.
Yeah, I think the Pokemon TCG Live came out in June last year. And it was clunky at first. I feel like it's much cleaner now, but that Josh is that is full-blown regular Pokemon on phones, and it's not too bad. I was playing it for a while for the first few sets of Scarlet and Violet. So I think that'll 100% be separate. There is no Worlds event for that, right? For that game?
No, it's considered part of the TCG, I think.
Yeah, so this other one probably will have its own Worlds event, I would assume. Hopefully it deletes Pokemon Go, but it won't happen. But this, I think it'll be cool. It'll be a different meta game. It'll be completely different. I like it. I like the thought of it. And being like making it a game like this, you can incorporate some like RNG into it. Like you can like Hearthstone. That's one of my favorite parts about Hearthstone. Is like, oh, randomly select and do damage to this person and stuff like that. You can kind of do that. And I hope they do some of that and make it kind of like arcadey, you know?
I think Hearthstone to this day is probably the model mobile game for like the TCGs. I played a ton of that in college, and I feel like they were just on top of it, way ahead of everyone else. Like what Greeny said, like the RNG elements to it. Like at the highest competitive level, it probably is somewhat annoying, but it's like if you're not at like the top of the pillar per se, it's pretty fun because it gives you like these crazy moments on like both sides where you get some crazy unexpected outcome. And I think that is like a cool level of engagement with like the game itself that you don't get from like a traditional card game, because there's not a real easy way for you to implement that in person.
Yeah. That'd be cool. Oh yeah.
All
I
right,
don't think
guys.
it hurts the hobby though. I think if anything, it's just like whether it succeeds or not is the question. But I don't think it hurts in any way or draws away from the TCG.
No, not at all.
Agreed.
It'll help.
Cool. Well, guys, probably gonna wrap it up here. Gonna go to bed. I appreciate you guys hopping in though and chatting.
For sure.
It was awesome having you guys. Love
for
hearing you
having
guys. Oh, Pole Father just hopped into the backstage.
Was he gonna rip like play packs now?
I'm just gonna kick him.
Damn, Java.
Old
I'm
Hardy.
going to bed, Pole Father. No, I think Pole Father is gonna come to Chicago. I think.
Yeah, I think he said that in the Discord.
Which is awesome.
Mhm.
Is he a new dad too recently?
Going to be.
Going to be? I wasn't sure if he if they
Heartbreaking.
who
Who did-
recently had a child.
Merch.
He does
Still
have
a prize one to end. All right, Pole Father, if you want to hop in and open a pack, we can finale it on.
You better hurry that up. I'm sweating my balls off. Hurry up.
Same.
That's up to you. I don't even know what's in the prize one. Is that the Charizard VMAX? Is that the poll?
Zapdos.
Is there Zapdos?
You know,
Prize one. Doesn't it
Valerian.
have a Tyranitar in it?
maybe.
Tyranitar EX.
I don't know. All right, here he is. What's up, Pole Father?
Yes!
Only
You
takes
kicked
one
me
to
out. I was
do
like,
it.
what?
Rip it. Let's see it.
Let's see it, dude.
You getting
Well, you
that
guys were
ball.
talking a little Yu-Gi-Oh! Just, anyways. All right, you guys want to rip it? Why not? Pick a number.
7.
7? 7.
Hold on, before you rip, are you gonna have a baby soon? Is that what I just heard?
Yeah.
Congratulations.
That's why I'm kind of MIA a little bit. My wife is 16 weeks pregnant, and for those of you guys watching, fun facts, my baby is the size of an avocado, according to my wife.
Oh, you're one of those families, eh? The freaking vegetable
I'm not-
families.
Every week, I find out what new fruit is cooking in my wife's stomach. This week, we're an avocado.
That's freaking
Quite
awesome,
frankly, you can't
dude.
make that into guacamole. No, it's just straight avocado this week. Next week, it'll be a surprise too. So, 14 weeks, due in February. No, but I've basically been MIA and absent because she got sick for a good 7 weeks, and to the point where I almost had to take her to the hospital. She got like a really bad cold, and when you're pregnant, you literally can't do anything. I mean, like anything. So like I'm like pokey chefing it up. I'm like, have some chicken noodle soup, have some of this. She's like, I don't feel like that. I'm like, you gotta eat this. I'm like, like shoving it in her and everything like that. But she's good. She's fully healthy. Baby's healthy. It's a boy.
Congrats.
Congrats.
Thank you. It's a mutual respect. Some people said I couldn't do what could be done. Find the odds. I could take someone. Now you were talking a little Yu-Gi-Oh, and I always like looking at these here and there. These are mine from childhood. Figured I'd just show them. But I still have these.
Oh yeah, the GBI promos.
Yeah, the diagonal holofoil.
Yep.
I still have them. I think to myself, man, I still love these. But other than that, prepping to be a dad, I guess. Trying to stay busy, watching on the sidelines and stuff. But it's about
Coming
it.
to Chicago?
I'm going.
Nice.
Actually, Josh, I might get with you because I might fly to Detroit.
I'm
My
here.
wife's family lives in Wind City. There you go. Might hit you up. I might drive if you. I don't know how you're getting there, but
Yeah, I'm driving with the family to Northwest Indiana to drop my kids off and stay the night there. Thursday, in theory.
Okay, no worries. I'll find a way.
Yeah.
I got you. Don't worry. All right. Who's this? Say prepared for your life to get turned upside down. I was shoved and shocked for months. Gotta do it sometime or later. Right?
Yeah.
All right. You want to pack Prize Pack Series 1?
Let's
Is
go.
7 the lucky number?
7.
7 it is.
What's in Prize Pack Series 1? What are you chasing in there?
Zapdos.
I personally want the Umbreon VMAX, but I'll take the Charizard VMAX again.
Oh, it's
Oh,
those
seven.
Series 1. For some reason, I was thinking it's Pop Series 1 because you're always ripping vintage.
These.
Prize Pack Series 1 probably has more to find than like Pop Series 1, honestly.
Probably.
Almost
The pull
certainly.
rates are.
That's
I
why-
forget how many he opened in my first live, but the pull rates are garbage.
Bad.
It was a bleak live stream.
What do you
I
miss
still
in
have
number
some raw that need to be graded. I just haven't been sending them out. I've been sending them out slowly. Very, very slowly. I don't like PSA. I feel like is grading very, very hard. Especially
Yeah.
as mine, sir. I don't know. But, anyways, number 7. Because I don't want to only want 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Someone give me another number.
12.
Oh, 12.
12?
There you go. 12.
12?
84.
You
No.
get really high number.
He
I'll
probably
be back
had
up for-
84 in
Where
there.
did these from? You got a guy? You steal it from some kids who just came out of the card shop. You shake them down.
No, I did buy these. I did buy them. I actually got them for a good price. So there's a little.
Well, don't say where if it's from an LGS. You don't want to out them.
All right, no.
Okay.
Okay.
Cardinal Gaming.
No.
I got you, Mason. Don't worry. Wink, wink.
No.
I got you,
I
buddy.
did, no.
You would never
I
do
did not buy these from him. I can very fairly. I have approached him before saying, "Hey, you got some?" And he straight up said, "Sorry, man, can't." So
He's like, you got to go and play and win them all. I know you went down and won every single one at a league. You went and you beat an 8-year-old at the Pokemon League for these packs. If Pokemon is listening, the Pull Father annihilated an 8-year-old for these packs without any sort of remorse. He made him cry, and he took the pack and walked out of that LGS just because that's what Pokemon demands. You can't buy them. You have to win them.
What
Just to be clear.
What is the oldest that a person can win at like a Worlds event? Is there like a maximum age?
I don't think so.
I think there's an age,
No max.
like sort of like sports. I think there's an age. I think there's a.
I know it's like a senior group, right? Or like a adult group.
Nobody went to Worlds here. I definitely did not go.
Masters. There's no max.
There isn't like a kids division and a adult.
There is.
There is,
There's
yeah.
3 different divisions, but there's no max.
There's no max for the adult one.
Just like the president of the United States. Yeah.
I want to see some like 70-year-old just throw down. That'd be awesome.
That would be so cool to see. I would be watching like it was a new season, reality TV season of some like show if we had some old person who was like about to win it, you know.
Here we go. Let me see if I solo layout
One more number. Someone give me one more
or
number.
more.
75.
75. Believe it.
Make it count, man.
13,
Jeez.
14, 15.
People used to do that to me when I streamed. When I'd ask them for a number, they give me like the biggest number. I'm like, no, give me a number under like 20.
Oh man. Oh,
You beat a bunch of kids in league. You made a bunch of children cry. Jeez. Well done. I'm impressed.
Stacks on stacks.
I'm impressed.
I'm not opening these anymore. I'm selling. Except for the special occasions like this, we open.
They're really cool. I like the prize packs. I think it's really nice what Pokemon did with those.
They are, and I think I don't know. I think a lot of people don't know how hard they are to grade. And I think that's why I like collecting them a lot. They're not easy to grade. They're very difficult. And I don't know. It's just fun. I miss the Pokemon's missing that chase again. It really is. It's missing a little more of like a man. I can't get this card chase. I think that's what the people want. You hear me, Pokemon? I don't know if you're out there listening. We want that chase.
Did we get there yet? We're still counting.
I'm only a 265 sub guy. Come on. What am I going to do? Hang on. Right. There we go. 3 packs to wind off the night. Honestly, if we get just any hit, oh, nice.
Crunky bits.
Honestly, just any hits is a win.
Japanese.
Who wants to go first?
Is there a Duraludon V in this set?
No.
Good thing, because if there was, that's what we'd hit.
I'm going with this guy.
We're getting the Umbreon.
Take as
Alright,
long as
here we
you
go.
can. I want to see Java open awake until tomorrow morning.
Pull it up.
Go.
Here's a code card for all you people out there. Enjoy. Thanks to Java for hosting this.
Sure.
Trainer.
Waters.
Hey, what's that?
Cinderace.
Path
Top
to
to
the
the
peak.
peak.
And nothing.
Top to the peak, some sort of like good card or something. I don't know.
Probably, I would guess. Yeah.
Steerac one. All right.
How is it, Greeny?
That's fucking good.
There, Greeny.
Wait, where's this poster? There we go. All right. Pack number 2.
All right, here we go.
Let's see it.
It only takes one. There you go, everyone.
All right.
There's
All
no
right.
coffee in this.
Let's
Got
go.
it.
Let's go. Help me out.
Come on.
That's the rare anything. The net.
Scoop up.
One more chance.
Ah.
Crushing
That ain't bad.
That can't be that bad. Yeah.
Oh.
That's gotta be worth $10.
You think so?
It's playable. Yeah.
A lot of those cards look playable, from what I know. Yeah,
Crushing Hammer played like a mother.
it used to be at least.
I think I have I have too many of these.
There was
I have too many
there
of
was
them.
a 4 of in the Champions deck.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, now's the time to sell.
Yep.
I actually think I want to do a whole graded set of these, but I must be crazy.
Thought you were doing that.
Here we go. One more time, people. How about it?
All right.
Boo Shake. At least the charts are non-hollow. Ugh, Malamar.
Close.
Oh, come on. A little more love.
Ooh, switch.
Brutal.
I'm defacing the name. Can't hit these.
Can those packs be weighed? Because I'm starting to question your friend's.
Let me tell you. At first, I thought they were weighable. I did. I've weighed enough of these. The only time that something will be absurdly off is if you get something that's not. I'm not talking by 0.10 grams heavy. I'm talking really, really almost like a full gram heavy. That is the only time, or twice, I weighed them, and the packs weighed way more than they ever have, and I pulled 2 hits out of them. That's the only time ever. But I've hit between 12.14 and 12.3. At one point, so my cousin recently actually opened up some. He got the Umbreon VMAX, and his weight on it was 12.21. So then we thought, okay, maybe it's in that little mid-range gap. I ripped 5, 12.19 between 23 and got nothing. And then he opened up his and got nothing. It is pure madness luck. Truly, truly.
Rough stuff. Rough stuff.
Yep.
So have you tried CT scanning them yet?
What's up?
Send them off.
What is it, $75 a pack?
No, it's like
No.
$15 now.
Mm-hmm.
It's worth. Can't do that. I don't like that. I'll tell you though, this is what I got going on this weekend. Something a little more outside the box. Call me crazy. Call me crazy. All right. So there is some type of convention in Tampa, Florida, where I'm going this week, and I'm going with a different play for a little resale action. the person that voices the Little Mermaid is going to be there. So I thought twice there a little bit. I said, I think there's a little interesting play here. And I Googled this up. I really couldn't find too much who had these available. So what I bought for her to sign was one of these.
Disney 100.
Oh, it's serialized.
I'm going to have her sign that. And then I have a Lorcana card here. Right here.
There you go.
Oh, yeah, that's
a
it.
good one.
So I'm just interested to kind of just like play with it. See like what happens, you know? Worst
How much is
case,
she charging
keep it
for her
myself.
signature?
What's that?
How much is she charging for her signature?
I think she was 70.
It's the voice actress, he said, Paige O'Hare.
Judy. Her name is voice actor of Little
Okay.
Joe. No, where is she?
I just smashed this whole box of chocolates.
Jodie Benson.
Who's? I thought Paige. Yeah, this must be a different Disney singer. I always mix up the singers' names.
So and that was the thing too. So she's considered a Disney legend, and she also sings the big famous song from the movie. So I said to myself, all right, like no one out there has done this. So I'm like, I'm gonna take a swing at this. And worst case scenario, I keep it. No big deal.
Cool autograph to have. It would be really cool as a card collector for you to keep it if you didn't end up doing well on it, like as a resale thing.
And also the voice actor of A Bug's Life, Flick, is going to be there. So I actually bought the same one too.
Nice.
Why not?
Yeah.
We're collectors at all the end of the day, right? Like,
Yep.
Did you guys see that horrible signature on the? Was it a gold star? It was with a gold Sharpie, and it looked like the Sharpie was like wearing out, and they had them sign it anyway, and it is one of the worst signatures I've ever seen. It's so bad. I forget where.
What was it, Gengar for some reason?
Was it a Gengar?
I don't know.
It was posted in
The
Discord
sketch was a
today.
Gengar.
It was bad. I'd feel so bad if I got that.
Invest now.
Oof.
actually, I got a quick question for you guys. See if you have any experience in this. So I do have a card being shipped to me currently. And when I go on UPS, or I go on eBay, and then I take the tracking number from UPS, it says, so 2 days ago, today and yesterday, the card was in my area. But it says that there was a problem with shipping, even though the card was en route. Like, you know, it shows when something's en route to your house, like it's out for delivery for you that day. It showed that to me twice. And then today, I'll read you the error it's showing me.
I have no clue. I don't use UPS.
It's reading to me this, viewer details. Here we go. Track package. So it says, we're sorry your package was delayed. We are adjusting delivering plans as quickly as possible. So now it says arrives Monday the 26th, which is killing me because this event is this week and I need this card.
Is it still moving, like in the system? It sounds like it moved within the last day or two, right?
Yes.
It's fine then. You can't do anything about it. But if it stops moving for a long period of time, that's when you need to worry. As long as it keeps moving, even if it sends it to Puerto Rico, to Russia, back to the US, if it keeps moving, your card's fine. It just have some dust and a couple extra stamps on the package. But as it stops moving and for a period of time and it disappears, then you need to start worrying. But you're chill, dude. You might not get it in time, though. I hate to be the bearer of bad news for you, but be safe.
Anyone know like a rain dance we can do to kind of like make a card like, show up tomorrow?
You might want to start sacrificing some farm animals, gummy farm animals, because that's the best bet you're gonna get. Because
I'm so mad because basically it's this card, but it's green. So it's this one, but it's all green background.
You're gonna live without the green Bugs Life card to autograph, my friend. I will also be the one to tell you're gonna live without that one. I'd say if you have the Little Mermaid card, you're better off than having the Green Bugs Life card.
But I heard if you do the Truffle Shuffle live on YouTube, it does help.
Yeah, so you can try that too if you want to. But no, your card's safe.
I'm really considering right now. All right, so if it keeps moving, so if it stopped moving, all right.
Then someone stole it, and you're gonna have to go file a lawsuit against the new owner of a Green Bugs Life off, non-licensed Disney card.
Oh man, but wouldn't it say like would it say delivered or no?
Only if it gets delivered somewhere.
But unless someone swipes it, then it's hanging in limbo.
If it gets delivered to the wrong address, it'll say delivered, and then you can see where it gets delivered to if it wasn't you. But if it just still says it's moving, man. It's just doing its thing. It's doing its fun little mail shuffle. I've had a lot of stuff do. Like one time I said, it gets sent to Puerto Rico. I had a package get sent all the way to Puerto Rico and then back to me for no real reason, it seemed like. So you never know what will happen, like with some packages.
All right, so when it stops moving, I go to UPS and say, "Hey, look, like it's not moving."
Yeah, and that's when you could even call them and say, "Hey, it hasn't moved in like 2 days. I'm worried about my package," and tell them the situation. They'll probably find it for you.
Yeah, because today it said out for delivery, and then today 8/16.
It'll probably end up on your porch tomorrow. Then
It could.
I like the positive vibe.
It
It's
says
just
out
if
for
you, the
delivery.
less you check the pizza tracker, the faster it comes. That's usually the rule of thumb for me.
You know, it was like really annoying. I saw the UPS truck driver come to my neighborhood twice. I was like, "Oh, great!" I'm like, "It's here." I'm like, "Oh, it's here." I even waved at him. I was like, "Hey, man."
He's just start getting worried. He's just start thinking you're like following him or something. You're gonna see him at the store. You're gonna be like, "Hey, man, you got that card?" He's like, "Dude, I'm off. You gotta stop following me, man." It's like, it's just my Bugs Life card.
But
All right, fellas.
that's my predicament.
I gotta go.
Same here.
Appreciate you hosting, man. You have a good night.
Have a
Yeah,
good
no
night.
problem.
Thanks for letting me in last minute, everyone.
Yeah, no problem. Tomorrow night, you guys should head over to Pokemon Wonders because he's talking with Legend of Luke. That's going to be a really fun chat. Just posted the link to that in chat, so make sure you follow and hit the notify me button, I think, is what you can do for there. Thank you guys for all being here, and see you maybe next week on the next one, possibly. See you later, guys.
See ya.
Bye.
Later.